Chapter 2099. Ka ka ka. The three-eyed demon lord clenched his fists tightly after being mocked by the old woman. Madam Scorpion, don't be so arrogant. The three-eyed demon lord looked at the old woman coldly and said, although your cultivation is slightly higher than mine, it's hard to say who will win if we fight. Ha ha ha. The old woman, who was called Madam Scorpion, looked as if she had heard the funniest joke in the world. She threw her head back and laughed. After laughing, Madam Scorpion changed the topic and said coldly, if the Holy Earth Mad Lord is here, I might be afraid, but I can deal with you alone. Swoosh! With that, Madam Scorpion's figure flashed, and she charged straight at the three-eyed demon lord. Just like the three-eyed demon lord, Madam Scorpion did not take Ningyu seriously. She saw the three-eyed demon lord as her greatest opponent. In her opinion, as long as she could kill the three-eyed demon lord, she would have the upper hand here. As for Ningyu and the Red Devil, Madam Scorpion saw them as the three-eyed demon lord subordinates. Naturally, Madam Scorpion would not deal with Ningyu and the Red Devil first. Dogs biting each other. Seeing the battle between the three-eyed demon lord and Madam Scorpion, Ningyu took a few steps back and watched them with interest. This was what Ningyu wanted to see the most. In fact, Ningyu had long noticed that there were still a few powerful auras in the void that had yet to appear. The battle between the three-eyed demon lord and Madam Scorpion was just an appetizer. It had nothing to do with the final result. Whether the three-eyed demon lord or Madam Scorpion won, the final winner would not be Ningyu, but the more powerful martial artists hidden in the void. Rumble. In terms of strength, Madam Scorpion was indeed stronger than the three-eyed demon lord. The three-eyed demon lord came from the sacred divine palace and was said to be the palace lord closest to the holy earth mad lord. But Madam Scorpion was not much inferior. She came from the primordial demon sect and was one of the four great protectors of the sect. The battle between the two of them was exceptionally intense and lively. In order to finish off the other party as quickly as possible, the three-eyed demon monarch and Madam Scorpion both used their full power. Poochie. To Ningyu's disappointment, the battle did not last long before it ended. The three-eyed demon monarch was hit by Madam Scorpion's attack and was sent flying several meters away, spurting out a mouthful of blood. Normally speaking, even if the three-eyed demon lord wasn't Madam Scorpion's match, he wouldn't have been defeated so quickly. The reason why the three-eyed demon sovereign had been defeated was because he hadn't been at his peak during his fight with Ningyu. Otherwise, he would have been able to last another half an hour. Sigh, what a pity. Ningyu heaved a sigh of regret. The three-eyed demon sovereign's defeat meant that he would have to face Madam Scorpion. Madam Scorpion was secondary. The main thing was the experts hidden in the void. They were the most important. Ningyu's idea was to let them kill each other. However, from the looks of it now, it was extremely difficult to get them to kill each other. It was so difficult that it was practically impossible to accomplish. Oomph. You overestimate yourself. Madam Scorpion snorted coldly. She lifted her right leg and stomped on the three-eyed demon sovereign's chest. Crack, crack, crack. A crisp sound rang out. Several of the three-eyed demon sovereign's ribs were broken on the spot. Madam Scorpion might be arrogant, but she didn't dare to kill the three-eyed demon sovereign. The three-eyed demon sovereign was the strongest expert in the sacred divine palace. If she killed him, the sacred divine palace would definitely send out all their forces to fight the primordial demon sect. Madam Scorpion didn't have the guts to start a war between two mid-level domains. After all, she wasn't the primordial demon sect's ancestor. There were too many things she had to consider when making a decision. Rumble. Madam Scorpion had just broken a few of the three-eyed demon sovereign's ribs when a rumbling sound came from the entrance of the Blue Dragon Valley. Madam Scorpion was ecstatic when she saw this. The rumbling sound meant that the formation in front of the Blue Dragon Valley was about to be broken. Previously, they couldn't enter the Blue Dragon Valley because they couldn't fight against the formation. Now that the formation was about to break, it was obvious that all of them had the right to enter the Blue Dragon Valley. Whoosh! As a result, the void continued to split apart, and the experts hidden within the void began to show themselves. Swoosh! Madame Scorpion's face turned ugly when she saw the sudden appearance of so many martial artists. She was originally the strongest expert in this area and thought that she could monopolize the Blue Dragon Valley. Who would have thought that after the appearance of all kinds of monsters, although her strength wasn't the weakest, she had fallen from the strongest to the middle of the pack? This level was very awkward. She couldn't go up or down, so it was difficult for her to participate in the fight for the treasures in the Blue Dragon Valley. Ningyu had a similar thought as Madame Scorpion. At this moment, Ningyu's face was extremely solemn. He was slightly stronger than Madame Scorpion, but among the many martial artists that appeared just now, a few had reached the peak of the Xian Immortal realm. He could fight one peak Xian Immortal, but if he had to fight several peak Xian Immortals at the same time, he wouldn't have the slightest chance of winning. I have to think of a way. Ningyu's eyes darted around as he thought of a countermeasure. The experts in front of him were definitely the pillars of their respective forces. Each of them was a hegemon in their respective domains. That's right. Suddenly, Ningyu slapped his head and thought of a countermeasure. Since the experts were afraid of the formation, they would definitely send people in to test it out. His cultivation was a half-step Xian Immortal, so he was undoubtedly the best candidate to enter the Blue Dragon Valley. As expected, when the formation at the entrance of Blue Dragon Gorge was about to disperse, a peak mysterious Immortal Realm expert in midair pointed at Ningyu and said indifferently, "You head over to the entrance of Blue Dragon Gorge." Me? Ningyu's heart was small, but he revealed an unwilling expression on his face. Cut the crap. The peak Xian Immortal waved his right hand, and a gust of wind flew towards Ningyu. Swoosh! The gust of wind was so strong that Ningyu couldn't resist it at all. He was enveloped by it and flew towards the entrance of the Blue Dragon Valley. Swoosh! Before Ningyu reached the entrance of the Blue Dragon Valley, a cold light shot out from the Blue Dragon Valley. The speed of the cold light was extremely fast, and it was extremely accurate. Without any deviation, it hit Ningyu's chest. It's actually so weak? Ningyu was a little dumbfounded, because the power of the cold light was really too weak, so weak that it couldn't even hurt a human immortal. But Ningyu knew that he needed to start his performance. You can't catch the wolf without sacrificing the child. Ningyu gritted his teeth and immediately used the Immortal Vanquishing Scroll that Suing gave him. The Immortal Vanquishing Scroll could be activated 3 times, and each time, it could easily kill a mid-stage Xian Immortal expert. Chapter 2100. The attack of the Immortal Vanquishing Scroll was indeed very powerful. Moreover, Ningyu was caught off guard and was sent flying several meters away. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. Looks like I have to wait for some time. Almost every expert in the air had the same thought. Since Ningyu was attacked so badly, there was no need for them to take the risk. At this moment, Ningyu crawled up from the ground with difficulty and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. To be honest, Ningyu felt a little aggrieved. If he didn't have to stop these people for Suing, Ningyu was fully capable of dealing with these experts. He couldn't win against many people, but no one could kill him in a one-on-one fight. Drip, drip. Time passed slowly. After that, every half an hour, Ningyu would be called to probe the Blue Dragon Valley. And every time he tested, Ningyu would spit out a mouthful of blood and his face would turn pale. Ningyu knew very well that even if he tried his best, he could only drag it out for an hour. Now that an hour had passed, he would have to face so many experts. You go over again. In the air, a peak Xian Immortal martial artist in blue pointed at Ningyu and said. However, this time, the martial artist in blue was disappointed. Ningyu didn't continue to attack Blue Dragon Valley. Instead, he stood on the spot and looked at him quietly. Are you rebelling? The martial artist in blue frowned slightly and suddenly exerted his aura to suppress Ningyu. Umph! Ningyu snorted coldly and immediately exerted his aura to clash with the martial artist in blue's aura. Chi! Chi! 2 terrifying auras collided. What the martial artist in blue and the crowd expected didn't happen. Instead, the 2 auras dissipated between heaven and earth. Pretending to be weak? Did I make a mistake? The sudden change caused the rest of the martial practitioners to be a little puzzled. The half-step mysterious immortal realm martial artist that they looked down upon had suddenly erupted with a formidable, imposing aura. So how could they not be bewildered and shocked? However, while they were puzzled and shocked, they also stared at the blue-clad cultivator with interest. It was like they were watching the blue-clad cultivator make a fool of himself. "You're courting death." The blue-clothed martial artist was furious. He was a dignified martial artist at the peak of the mysterious immortal realm. Yet he was actually unable to kill a half-step mysterious immortal realm martial artist with a single move. If news of this were spread, where would he put his face? The blue-clothed cultivator immediately rushed out in anger and launched his most ferocious attack at Ningyu. Essence Creation Divine Staff. Ningyu held the Essence Creation Divine Staff in his hand and wore the phantom armor. He took a step forward and prepared to fight with the martial artist in blue. Rumble. The battle broke out instantly. Because the blue-clothed martial artist was worried about the other martial artists, he did not use his full strength. After all, he was also afraid of being ambushed by other martial artists. Under such circumstances, not only was Ningyu not at a disadvantage, but he was even able to suppress the blue-clothed cultivator. Doesn't the ancient demon sect rule a medium-sized territory? Why are the top 3 experts in the sect so weak? Although the ancient demon sect rules a medium-sized territory, everyone knows that the territory they rule is very small and lacks resources. Rumor has it that the ancient demon sect had internal strife recently and many of their elders were injured or killed. While Ningyu and the blue-clothed martial artist were fighting, the surrounding martial artists began to discuss. Anyway, they were not the ones fighting Ningyu, so winning or losing had little to do with them. In this world, there are many people who would like to watch a show. Crack! The blue-clothed martial artist was already very angry. Now that he heard the surrounding martial artist discussion, he was so angry that his attack slowed down by half a beat. Ningyu's strength was about the same as the blue-clothed martial artist's. At this moment, the blue-clothed martial artist's attack slowed down by half a beat, which naturally gave Ningyu a great opportunity. And Ningyu seized this opportunity very well. He swung the essence creating divine staff in his hand and hit the blue-clothed martial artist's shoulder. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. The blue-clothed martial artist's right shoulder caved in on the spot, and his collarbone was directly broken. The breaking of his collarbone caused the blue-clothed martial artist to let out a hysterical roar. "I'm going to turn your bones into ashes. No one in the world can save you." The angry blue-clothed martial artist roared. However, the blue-clothed martial artist's roar had no effect on Ningyu. Ever since he fought with the blue-clothed martial artist, Ningyu had never thought of killing him. But the current situation made Ningyu change his mind. The blue-clothed martial artist's mental state was deteriorating, and even his attacks were chaotic. This was the best time to kill him. If he missed this opportunity, he might not get it again. Red Devil. Ningyu raised his head and shouted, choosing to directly use the Red Devil sword. After refining a small piece of blue energy stone, the Red Devil's strength had already recovered to its peak state. He fused with the Red Devil sword for Ningyu to use, directly increasing Ningyu's combat strength by several times. Wearing the phantom armor, Ningyu held the Red Devil sword in his left hand and the essence creating divine staff in his right hand. He launched the most powerful attack on the blue-clothed martial artist. In order to kill the blue-clothed martial artist as a warning to others, Ningyu even used his soul power. He's so strong. Ningyu's sudden attack slightly shocked the other martial artists in the air. They asked themselves honestly, even if it wasn't the blue-clothed martial artist in the field, but them, they still wouldn't be sure of winning. The ancient demon sect has lost another general. Some people were gloating. The top combat strength of a sect was a Xian immortal expert. The ancient demon sect had just gone through a civil war, and many Xian immortal experts had died. If the blue-clothed martial artist died here, then the overall strength of the ancient demon sect would drop by at least 30%. Thinking of this, Some experts in the territories close to the ancient demon sect even began to secretly send messages to their sects to prepare to attack the ancient demon sect at any time. I'm from the ancient demon sect. How dare you kill me? The blue-clothed martial artist shouted angrily at Ningyu. It's not too late for you to stop before it's too late. Otherwise, I'll ask all the experts of the ancient demon sect to come out and kill everyone related to you. Your trick might work on kids, but it won't work on me. Ningyu shrugged and continued to launch powerful attacks. Ningyu wanted to kill the chicken to warn others. No matter how many benefits the blue-clothed martial artist promised him, he would never be tempted. Fine, you forced me to do this. The blue-clothed martial artist clenched his fists, and the veins on his arms bulged. Then, the blue-clothed cultivator's arms grew larger and larger. In just a second, they were as thick as his thighs. This has nothing to do with me. How could Ningyu let the blue-clothed martial artist succeed? Chapter 2101. Crack. Crack. Although the Red Fiend Sword was only an early-stage dark treasure, its hardness was comparable to an ordinary peak-stage dark treasure flying sword. After all, the Red Fiend Sword had once cut off a piece of the lightning pool, and the hardness of the piece of the lightning pool did not need much elaboration. Two crisp sounds rang out consecutively along with the yelp of the blue-clothed cultivator. Two arms were cut off from the blue-clothed cultivator's shoulders by the Red Fiend Sword. The corpse of a peak-stage dark immortal should be a great tonic. After succeeding in his attack, Ningyu did not stop at all. Instead, he chased after the blue-clothed cultivator, wanting to strike while the iron was hot and kill him. Ningyu would never give his enemy the slightest chance to turn the tables. In the blink of an eye, Ningyu arrived before the blue-clothed cultivator. He waved the Red Fiend Sword quickly and slashed at the blue-clothed cultivator's neck. Wait, I want to submit to you. When the Red Fiend Sword was only a centimeter away from the blue-clothed cultivator's neck, the blue-clothed cultivator hurriedly shouted. Swoosh! Hearing this, Ningyu stopped instantly. His motto was not to give his enemies any chance, but if his enemies could submit to him and become one of his own, then there would be no distinction between them. Moreover, there were many experts around. It was always good to have a peak-stage dark immortal follower. At the very least, the other experts would not dare to attack him easily. At the thought of this, Ningyu said to the blue-clothed cultivator, How do you want to submit to me? I will open up my mind and let you control me. The blue-clothed cultivator's forehead was covered with beads of sweat as he replied hurriedly. The blue-clothed cultivator's thinking was very simple. As long as he could live, he would do anything. Even if he had to kneel down to Ningyu, he would not hesitate. After all, there was only hope if he survived. Very well. Ningyu did a little search and agreed to the blue-clothed cultivator's request. Ningyu had a lot of experience in controlling others. Although the cultivation of the blue-clothed martial artist was at the peak of the Xian immortal realm, Ningyu only needed to leave a wisp of soul force in his mind, and he would have absolute control over the blue-clothed martial artist. Even though Ningyu knew that the blue-clad cultivator did not have good intentions, he could not reject the blue-clad cultivator's request. After getting an affirmative answer from Ningyu, the martial artist in blue revealed an expression of relief. Regardless of whether or not he could escape from Ningyu, the fact that he could survive was enough to relieve the blue-clothed cultivator of a huge burden. Then, the martial artist in blue completely relaxed his mind, as if he was allowing Ningyu to control him. Xiao! Ningyu did not waste too much time. A soul force shot out from his body and flew straight towards the blue-clothed cultivator. In the blink of an eye, the soul force that shot out from Ningyu's body entered the blue-clothed cultivator's mind. After thinking about it, Ningyu still felt uneasy. In order to ensure that he could control the blue-clothed cultivator, Ningyu flicked his sleeves and quietly took out the leftover thunderbolt pool. Ningyu's idea was to place the leftover thunderbolt pool at the blue-clothed cultivator's heart. As long as the blue-clothed cultivator had any thoughts of resisting, he would immediately use the leftover thunderbolt pool to give the blue-clothed cultivator a fatal blow. What the hell is this? Feeling the palm-sized object at his heart, the blue-clothed cultivator's mouth opened slightly and his face was filled with horror. He did not know what the leftover thunderbolt pool was, but from the leftover thunderbolt pool, he could feel an aura that was no weaker than the essence creating divine rod. Moreover, he could also feel a slight fluctuation of the power of thunder. Feign ignorance first, then look for an opportunity. The blue-clothed cultivator took a deep breath and walked straight to Ningyu's side. At this moment, the blue-clothed cultivator would definitely not make an enemy out of Ningyu. Swoosh! However, the blue-clothed cultivator's choice to submit to Ningyu made the faces of the experts in the air darken. Ningyu's strength was already very strong. Now that he had the blue-clothed cultivator as his follower, he was like a tiger that had grown wings. It could be said that in this area, although Ningyu's strength was not the strongest, in terms of overall strength, Ningyu was the strongest. After all, they were fighting on their own. On Ningyu's side, there were two experts that were comparable to the peak of the Shin Immortal. One was Ningyu himself, and the other was the blue-clothed cultivator from the ancient demon sect. Boom! Right at this moment, a rumbling sound came from Song Dragon Valley. The rumbling sound made the expressions of the experts in the air change, and they were about to rush out. However, before they rushed out, Ningyu's faint voice came out slowly. Go to the entrance of Song Dragon Valley and guard it. Don't let a fly in without my permission. Ningyu's words were directed at the blue-clothed martial artist. The blue-clothed cultivator was disloyal, so he could guard the entrance of Song Dragon Valley. With the help of a martial artist at the peak of the Shin Immortal, the pressure on Ningyu's shoulders was instantly reduced. Okay, since he had submitted to Ningyu and was under Ningyu's control, the blue-clothed cultivator naturally would not be stupid enough to go against Ningyu. He nodded. Then his figure flashed and flew to the entrance of the Blue Dragon Valley. Swish! The blue-clothed cultivator's action made the other martial artists' faces darken. They all looked at Ningyu, and one of the gray-haired old men said coldly, "Don't go too far." "Who are you?" Ningyu looked at the gray-haired old man and asked with a frown. With the help of the blue-clothed cultivator, Ningyu became full of confidence. Now he was confident that he could fight with any martial artist present. "I am Immortal Li Gui from the Fallen Spirits sect." The gray-haired old man stared at Ningyu and said fiercely, "If you know what's good for you, get out of my way, or don't blame me for starting a massacre." Immortal Li Gui was smarter. As he spoke, he glanced at Hong Mo from time to time, who had already come out of the Red Devil Sword. The blue-clothed cultivator of the ancient demon sect was very strong, and Ningyu was not weak either. Immortal Li Gui did not want to fight with the two of them. His idea was to use Hong Mo to threaten Ningyu. Immortal Li Gui even included Song Ba. He exerted his aura, and part of it pressed down on Song Ba, and the other part pressed down on Hong Mo. "I'd like to see how you're going to start a massacre today." Ningyu took a step forward and exerted his aura as well, helping Song Ba and Hong Mo to resist the pressure of Immortal Li Gui's aura. In a lower plane, Ningyu had already formed a feud with sects such as the Sacred Divine Palace, the Fallen Spirits sect, the Primeval Demon sect, and the Ancient Demon sect. Now that there was a chance to kill the top experts of their sects, Ningyu would definitely not give up. Ningyu knew very well that although Immortal Li Gui was arrogant, he did not dare to really attack him. Because Immortal Li Gui was not the only martial artist at the peak of the Shin Immortal realm. If Immortal Li Gui could take him down, everything would be fine. But once he was in a stalemate with Immortal Li Gui, the other experts at the peak of the Shin Immortal realm would have a chance. Chapter 2102. Damn it. Ningyu's action put Li Gui, Immortal Lord, in a difficult position. He thought he could use Song Ba and the Red Devil to threaten Ningyu. However, not only was Ningyu not threatened, but he was also pressuring him. If he couldn't handle this matter well, he would become a laughingstock and end up worse than the martial artist in blue from the ancient demon sect. "What the hell do you want?" Li Gui looked at Ningyu coldly and said, "The array in front of the Blue Dragon Valley is gone. If you don't go in, you can't stop us from going in, right?" As he spoke, Li Gui pointed at the martial artists around him, trying to get them to fight against Ningyu with him. However, Li Gui's wishful thinking was wrong. Who would stand with him in this situation? The surrounding martial artists were eager for him to have a conflict with Ningyu. If Ningyu could get rid of him like he did with the martial artist in blue, the surrounding martial artists would applaud him. What's the hurry? I didn't say you couldn't go in. Ningyu shrugged and said lightly, I didn't go in either, did I? What I mean is very simple. Let's wait for a while. It won't be too late to go in when the Blue Dragon Valley is completely stabilized. Li Gui gritted his teeth in anger. However, the current situation was very clear. The surrounding martial artists would not become enemies with Ningyu because of him. Ningyu would not let the martial artist in blue guard the entrance of the Blue Dragon Valley for the rest of his life, because Ningyu would eventually enter the Blue Dragon Valley. Since they were waiting, why not just sit back and watch the conflict between Li Gui and Ningyu? Why? Do you want to fight with me? Ningyu raised his eyebrows and pretended to be serious. You are stronger than the martial artist in blue from the ancient demon sect. You have at least a 60% chance of winning against me. Ningyu's judgment was very accurate. Li Gui, Immortal Lord, was indeed stronger than the blue-clad martial artist. When fighting with the blue-clad cultivator, Ningyu only had a 50% chance of victory. It was easy to imagine that having a 40% chance of victory when fighting with malicious Ghost Immortal Lord was already pretty good. Humph. Fine, I'll wait. I want to see what tricks you have up your sleeves. Li Gui, Immortal Monarch, snorted coldly. He withdrew his aura and chose to retreat to the other side. Li Gui, Immortal Lord, was very clear about the principle of shooting the bird that sticks out. What he needed to do now was to quietly wait for others to lose their patience and attack Ningyu. Just wait patiently. Ningyu rolled his eyes and retreated slightly, standing side by side with the blue-clothed martial artist. If they were closer to the entrance of Blue Dragon Valley, it would be easier for Ningyu to contact Su-Ying. With the current situation, it shouldn't be too much of a problem to drag it out for a few hours. What Ningyu was worried about was that if time dragged on, the surrounding cultivators would definitely think of something. At that time, he would still have to face so many experts head-on. Therefore, the most important thing was to know how long Su-Ying would take. This is very troublesome. Ningyu constantly released his soul perception, trying to contact Su-Ying in advance. However, no matter how hard Ningyu tried, he couldn't get in touch with Su-Ying. After trying to contact him for half an hour, Ningyu finally announced that he would give up. Things would eventually sort themselves out. As long as Su-Ying enjoyed the fruits of victory, he would definitely take the initiative to come out. Therefore, what Ningyu had to do now was wait quietly. Drip. Time passed by quickly. While Ningyu waited quietly, Li Gui, Immortal Lord's mind gradually became active. Li Gui, Immortal Lord, was not willing to give up. He wanted to get back at Ningyu and let him know how powerful he was. Therefore, Li Gui, Immortal Lord, began his journey of persuasion. He planned to use his glib tongue to persuade the surrounding martial artists to attack together. There was only one thought in Li Gui, Immortal Lord's mind, which was to take down Ningyu and then grind Ningyu's bones into ashes, because this was the only way he could vent his hatred. However, things were always different for what he expected. Even though Li Gui, Immortal Lord, tried his best to persuade them, he still failed to persuade even one expert at the peak of Xian Immortal. The martial artists he persuaded were all at the early and middle stage of Xian Immortal. Originally, he could have persuaded Three-Eyed Demon Master from the Sacred Divine Palace and Madam Scorpion from the Primordial Demon Sect. However, what angered him the most was that when he was about to persuade them, two martial artists suddenly appeared. Although these two martial artists were not the patriarchs of the Sacred Divine Palace and the Primordial Demon Sect, their cultivation had reached the peak of Xian Immortal. It was somewhat inexcusable to persuade others under the eyes of the peak of Xian Immortal from the other sections. Therefore, Li Gui, Immortal Lord, ended in failure. Who hurt you like this? The peak of Xian Immortal from the Sacred Divine Palace was called Heaven Devouring Immortal Lord. After he appeared, his eyes fell on Three-Eyed Demon Master as he asked indifferently. Heaven Devouring Immortal Lord's appearance made Three-Eyed Demon Master ecstatic. Now, he could straighten his back and be a man, and he did not need to act according to the wishes of others. Scorpion, it's Ningyu. Three-eyed demon master originally wanted to point out Madam Scorpion, but on second thought, he could not let the sacred divine palace and the primordial demon sect have a conflict now. Otherwise, it would leave an opportunity for others to take advantage of. Therefore, he pointed at Ningyu and said coldly, "Ningyu hurt me." Ningyu? Heaven-devouring, immortal lord looked at Ningyu with a frown. In Heaven-devouring, immortal lord's opinion, Ningyu's cultivation was only a half-step Xian immortal. How could a half-step Xian immortal injure three-eyed demon master, a late-stage Xian immortal? Heaven-devouring, immortal lord did not believe it. At the same time, on the other side, origin demon immortal lord of the primordial demon sect did not believe it either. What a load of nonsense! Heaven-devouring, immortal lord's face turned cold, and he said in a low voice, "Confess now. Everything I said is the truth." The three-eyed demon sovereign felt like crying. The injuries on his body were mainly caused by Ningyu. If Ningyu had not worn him down first, how could he have been hurt by Madam Scorpion? Furthermore, the three-eyed demon lord had said that mostly because he wanted the heaven-devouring immortal lord to take note of Ningyu's strength. He didn't want the heaven-devouring immortal lord to suffer at Ningyu's hands. Heaven-devouring immortal lord, Ningyu is currently guarding the entrance of Blue Dragon Valley. Why don't you and I join forces and drive him out? Ligue, immortal lord, raised his eyebrows and said hurriedly to heaven-devouring immortal lord. Ligue, immortal lord, would not let go of such a good opportunity. Origin demon immortal lord, you should also join me and heaven-devouring immortal lord. With the three of us working together, we can definitely drive Ningyu away. Not only did Ligue, immortal lord, persuade heaven-devouring immortal lord, but he also persuaded origin demon immortal lord. Ningyu and the blue-clothed martial artist of the ancient demon sect were strong when they joined forces. Two peak Xian immortal martial artists alone would not be able to drive them out, and there was a high chance that both sides would be injured. But three of them was different. Chapter 2103. Dreams were plentiful, but reality was harsh. Even though Ligue, immortal lord, had tried his best to persuade heaven-devouring immortal lord and Sure Mo immortal lord, it was to no avail. Heaven-devouring immortal lord and Sure Mo immortal lord even looked at Ligue, immortal lord, like he was a fool. Crack! Ligue, immortal lord, was furious. He clenched his fists, making cracking sounds. Although he was angry, he did not dare to lose his temper. He had already formed a feud with Ningyu. If he angered heaven-devouring immortal lord and Sure Mo immortal lord, he would end up in a miserable state. Drip, drip. Time was ticking away. All the warriors present seemed to have formed a tacit understanding. No one said a word. They all waited quietly. At the entrance of Blue Dragon Valley, Ningyu crossed his arms in front of his chest, looking relaxed. However, only Ningyu knew that he was not relaxed at all. There was a lot of pressure on his shoulders. As long as Suing did not contact him, he would not dare to relax. Good luck would not always favor Ningyu. 2 hours later, the void suddenly split open. A white-haired old man appeared in front of everyone. Hiss! As soon as the white-haired old man appeared, everyone gasped. Strong. Very strong. Very strong. Ridiculously strong. The feeling the white-haired old man gave everyone was that of an invincible existence. Patriarch. Of course, among all the warriors in the area, only 2 people were extremely excited. One was Three-Eyed Demon Lord, and the other was Heaven-Devouring Immortal Lord. That's right. The white-haired old man was the founder of Sacred Divine Palace. He was also the first Palace Lord of Sacred Divine Palace, the mysterious Sacred Earth Mad Lord. The appearance of Sacred Earth Mad Lord made everyone's faces pale. They gathered together and formed a temporary alliance. The reason why the Holy Earth Mad Monarch had just appeared in the alliance was that the Holy Earth Mad Monarch was too powerful, giving everyone a surreal feeling. Half-Step Almighty. Sacred Earth Mad Lord's cultivation had most likely reached the realm of Half-Step Almighty, Golden Immortals were called Almighty, while half-step Golden Immortals were called half-step Almighty. Be it a true Almighty or a half-step Almighty, they were still Almighty. All of them who were at the peak of the mysterious immortal realm could only be slaughtered when facing a great figure, and it was even to the extent that they didn't have the slightest chance of fighting back. Quickly contact the old ancestor. The expressions of Li Gui, Immortal Lord, and Origin Demon Immortal Lord changed drastically. They hurriedly used their secret arts to contact their sect's patriarchs. Since even the Holy Earth Madman had appeared, it meant that there was something extremely terrifying in the Blue Dragon Valley. Otherwise, the Holy Earth Madman would not have come. What the F***CK? Ningyu was also paying attention to the changes around him. When the Holy Earth Madman appeared, Ningyu immediately cursed and contacted Su Ying frantically. With his strength and the blue-clothed martial artists of the ancient demon sect, they had a chance to resist the attacks of many peak profound immortals. However, against a half-step Almighty, he did not even have the chance to retaliate. He would be killed instantly. Coming quickly. This time, Su Ying did not disappoint Ningyu. Her voice rang in Ningyu's ears. I have something I need your help with. Hearing Su Ying's words, Ningyu did not think too much. He immediately led the Red Devil, Little Qilin, and Tsang Ba into the Blue Dragon Valley. As for the blue-clothed martial artist, he was left outside by Ningyu. If necessary, Ningyu would choose to give up on the blue-clothed martial artist and use his self-destruction to buy time. It's time. The Holy Earth Madman floated in mid-air, his face expressionless. Whoosh! As soon as the Holy Earth Madman finished his words, the void to the west of him suddenly split open and a young martial artist in his 20s appeared. Old Ancestor. The appearance of the young martial artist made the Origin Demon Immortal Lord and Madam Scorpion ecstatic. Obviously, this young martial artist was the old ancestor of the Primordial Demon Sect, or rather, the strongest martial artist of the Primordial Demon Sect. Crack! At the same time, the void split open again. This time, the martial artist was a middle-aged man in his 40s. Li Gui, Immortal Lord, was overjoyed. The middle-aged man was the strongest martial artist of the Fallen Spirits sect. When he appeared, Li Gui, Immortal Lord, felt much more relaxed. Rumble. A few more minutes passed. The void split open again, and a martial artist shrouded in black mist appeared in front of everyone. This martial artist was the old ancestor of the ancient demon sect, the ancient demon Immortal Lord. Come here. The ancient demon Immortal Lord waved at the blue-clothed martial artist at the entrance of the Blue Dragon Valley. Whoosh! Then, the blue-clothed martial artist flew toward the ancient demon Immortal Lord as if he had lost control of his body. Oomph! The ancient demon Immortal Lord placed his right hand on the head of the blue-clothed martial artist. He snorted coldly and said, How dare you control a martial artist of the ancient demon sect? Come out! As the ancient demon Immortal Lord roared, the soul force that Ningyu had left in the blue-clothed martial artist's mind burst out. At the same time, in the depths of the Blue Dragon Valley, Ningyu's face darkened. In order to control the blue-clothed martial artist, the soul force that he had left in the blue-clothed martial artist's mind was very well hidden. Now that his soul force had been forced out, it meant that the martial artist's helper was not weak at all. Explode. After a short moment of anger, Ningyu began to communicate with the leftover lightning pool in the blue-clothed martial artist's heart. Soul force was the first barrier for Ningyu to control the blue-clothed martial artist. The leftover lightning pool was his real trump card. Not good. The ancient demon Immortal Lord was not a pushover. As soon as the blue-clothed martial artist's body expanded, he realized that something was amiss. Raising his right leg, the ancient demon Immortal Lord kicked the blue-clothed martial artist's buttocks, sending him flying backward. Rumble. The blue-clothed cultivator had just flown back a few dozen feet when his entire body suddenly exploded. In a split second, blood and flesh splattered everywhere. Damn it! What the hell is going on? Why did he self-destruct? Let's go. Let's get out of here before it's too late. The sudden self-destruction of the blue-clothed martial artist caused the martial artists in the air to scatter in all directions. Although these martial artists were from powerful forces in the mid-sized dominions, the patriarchs of their forces did not come over. The blue-clothed martial artist was a peak Xian immortal expert. His self-destruction was extremely powerful. In the blink of an eye, in this area, all martial artists whose cultivation was lower than the advanced stage of Xian Immortal were killed by the self-destruction of the blue-clothed martial artist. Those peak Xian immortal martial artists who had survived were also severely injured. The only forces that remained intact were the Fallen Spirits sect, the Ancient Demon sect, the Holy Divine Palace, and the Primeval Demon sect. After all, these four forces had sent their strongest martial artists, all of whom were half-step mighty figures. The peak Xian immortal and half-step mighty figures were two completely different concepts. Chapter 2104. If I don't get my revenge, I am not human. The death of the martial artist in blue made Ancient Demon Immortal Lord's face darken. Recently, the internal strife in the Ancient Demon sect had exhausted the Ancient Demon Immortal Lord. The internal strife had cost the Ancient Demon sect several Xian Immortal Realm experts. Coupled with the death of the martial artist in blue, the strength of the Ancient Demon sect would be reduced by at least half. It was fortunate that Ancient Demon Immortal Lord was there to support them. Otherwise, the other major forces would definitely attack the Ancient Demon sect. Swoosh! Ancient Demon Immortal Lord did not waste too much time here. His body flashed, and he dashed towards the Blue Dragon Valley. Let's go too. Seeing the Ancient Demon Immortal Lord rush out, the rest of the Holy Earth Mad Lord, the young man from the Primeval Devil sect, and the middle-aged martial artist from the Fallen Spirits sect rushed out in unison. Their purpose for coming here was to enter the Blue Dragon Valley and search for the opportunities inside. Ordinary martial artists knew that the Blue Dragon Valley had the opportunity to advance to the Xian Immortal Realm. However, to experts like Holy Earth Mad Lord, there was a high chance that they could advance to the Supreme Being Realm in the Blue Dragon Valley. The Supreme Being was a realm that everyone yearned for. As long as Holy Earth Mad Lord and the others could advance to the Golden Immortal Realm, their territory would instantly become a high-tier territory. The sects they established would also become high-tier forces. Of course, these were not what they cared about. What they cared about was improving their own strength. Only by improving their own strength would they be able to obtain more resources in the future. Otherwise, even if their territory became a high-tier territory and their forces became a high-tier force, it would still be useless. What the F***CK? At this moment, somewhere in the depths of the Blue Dragon Valley, Ningyu looked at the sea of fire in front of him and could not help but curse. The reason why Ningyu had such a reaction was because he felt an extremely terrifying aura in the sea of fire. Most importantly, Su Ying was on the other side of the sea of fire. In other words, if he wanted to see Su Ying, he had to pass through the sea of fire. The two of you enter the Red Devil Sword first. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu said to Little Qilin, Song Ba, and the others, "Without my permission, no one is allowed to come out." Hong Yamo was at the Xian Immortal Elementary stage, so he should be able to withstand the impact of the Sea of Flames. However, Little Qilin was different from Song Ba and the others. Their strength was weaker, so it was impossible for them to withstand the terrifying aura in the sea of fire. Whoosh! Whoosh! Little Qilin and Song Ba were very self-aware, so they didn't let Ningyu worry too much. Their figures flashed, and they immediately entered the Red Demon Sword. Stay beside me. Only after Little Qilin and Song Ba entered the Red Devil Sword did Ningyu step onto the ground and rush into the Sea of Flames. Voila! As it turned out, there was nothing wrong with Ningyu's perception. As soon as he entered the Sea of Fire, an extremely terrifying pressure came from all around him. This pressure was extremely strong. Even though Ningyu had prepared himself in advance, he still couldn't help but have an ugly expression on his face. Xiao! Furthermore, a large group of red beetles flew straight toward him. What the hell is this? Seeing this, Ning Yu's mouth was slightly agape, his face full of disbelief. He was very clear about the power of the Sea of Fire. Even a Heaven Immortal Realm powerhouse would definitely not be able to survive in the Sea of Fire for long. But the red beetles flying toward him were actually bathed in the Sea of Fire, and they were not affected at all. Just this alone proved that the red beetles were definitely not weak. Chi-chi. The red beetles swallowed the flames as they flew, and everywhere they passed, the flames would all avoid them. Good stuff. Unlike Ning Yu's reaction, Hong Mo revealed a look of ecstasy. What do you mean? Ning Yu is not a stupid person. Hong Mo's reaction slightly stunned him. Then he asked, could it be that you can tame these red beetles? Hong Mo shook his head and explained, these beetles are called golden beetles. They are very difficult to tame, but they can be refined. Strictly speaking, each golden beetle is equivalent to a piece of glazed crystal. The powerhouses among the golden beetles can even be refined into golden crystals. Hiss! Hong Mo's words made Ning Yu suck in a breath of cold air. Glazed crystals were crystals used by mystic immortals for cultivation, while golden crystals were crystals used by golden immortals for cultivation. Golden crystals were very rare, and even golden immortals did not have many. That was because within each golden crystal, there was a certain chance that a golden immortal law would be born. Do you have a way to refine them into glazed crystals? Thinking of this, Ning Yu looked at Hong Mo and asked, there is a way, but I need your help. Hong Mo nodded and said, I can only refine a dozen golden beetles at a time. What you need to do is help me stop the rest of the golden beetles and prevent them from attacking me. No problem. Ning Yu agreed, almost without thinking. Although he could not refine the golden beetles, it should not be a problem for him to resist the attack of the golden beetles. Whoosh! At this time, the golden beetles had already arrived in front of Ning Yu and Hong Mo whoosh. Hong Mo did not waste any time. He immediately rushed into the swarm of golden beetles, grabbed a dozen golden beetles, and retreated to the other side. Whoosh! Whoosh! Seeing that Hong Mo had captured their companions, the rest of the golden beetles made a hissing sound and rushed towards Hong Mo. Your opponent is me. How could Ning Yu let Hong Mo be disturbed? He shouted and immediately stood in front of the red devil, blocking the golden-shelled insect's path. Rumble. Seeing that they were blocked, the golden beetles opened their mouths and spat out magma-like liquid. The corner of Ning Yu's mouth curled up, and all the immortal chi in his body swept out, forming a protective barrier in front of him. Crack! However, before Ning Yu could celebrate for long, his expression changed drastically. The magma spat out by the golden-shelled insect was too corrosive. It was so corrosive that it instantly corroded a hole in the immortal energy barrier he had created. Block it for me. Ning Yu gritted his teeth and shot out more immortal chi from his body to repair the hole in the protective barrier. Crack! 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 However, while Ning Yu was repairing the protective barrier, the golden beetles continued to destroy it. Damn it! Ning Yu's face was pale and bloodless. At this rate, no matter how much immortal chi he had in his body, it would be of no use. If he wanted to break out of this situation, there was only one way, and that was for Hong Mo to refine the golden beetles as soon as possible and bring him the mystic crystal. After all, the immortal chi in a mystic crystal was not to be underestimated. It could be said that the immortal chi in a mystic crystal could at least allow Ning Yu to hold on for a few more minutes. It's done. Just when Ning Yu could not hold on any longer, a heavenly voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Hearing this, Ning Yu's face lit up with joy. Chapter 2105. Give it to me. Ning Yu shouted eagerly when he heard Hong Mo's words. In order to resist the attack of the golden-shelled insect army, Ning Yu had suffered heavy losses. At this time, he had lost most of the divine chi in his body. If he could not replenish it, the golden-shelled insect army would soon break through the divine chi barrier. Here you go. The red devil was obviously aware of Ning Yu's difficulties. He flicked his wrist and threw out more than a dozen mysterious crystals in an instant. Crack! Ning Yu did not stand on ceremony, with Hong Mo. As soon as he received the mystic crystals, he opened his mouth and threw 3 mystic crystals into it. Ningyu activated the spirit conversion technique at extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, the 3 mystic crystals were completely devoured by Ningyu. Phew! Ningyu looked as if he had been relieved of a heavy burden after receiving the 3 mysterious crystals. Although the divine qi in his body had not recovered to its peak state, it could at least resist the attack of the golden-shelled insects for a few minutes. According to Hong Mo's speed, he could at least refine dozens of golden-shelled insects in a few minutes. With this cycle, it would not take long for Hong Mo to refine the entire golden-shelled insect army. Again, Hong Mo did not waste time. After he handed more than a dozen mystic crystals to Ningyu, he immediately rushed out and captured dozens of golden-shelled insects. Crack! 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 Ningyu stayed behind to resist the attack of the golden-shelled insect army. Ningyu no longer had any worries in his heart. First of all, he had more than a dozen mystic crystals on him, so he did not have to worry about the golden-shelled insect army destroying the divine qi barrier. Secondly, he could even use the mystic crystals to cultivate. Ever since he met Holy Earth Madman, Ningyu realized the seriousness of the problem. He was a half-step abstruse immortal, and his overall strength could compete with a peak abstruse immortal. If he caught them off guard, he might even have a chance to kill a peak abstruse immortal. However, with his current strength, he would not be able to fight back against a half-step almighty like the Holy Earth Madman. Under such circumstances, the only way to deal with the upcoming danger was to continuously increase his cultivation and strength. Drip, drip, time was ticking away. Almost every few minutes, the Red Devil would throw dozens of mystic crystals to Ningyu. The number of golden-shelled insects in the Sea of Fire was also decreasing rapidly. I can't believe it. Looking at the 3 crystals thrown by the Red Fiend, Ningyu cursed on the spot. The reason why Ningyu had such a reaction was that these 3 crystals were not ordinary mysterious crystals, but golden crystals. Crystals used by golden immortals for cultivation. There are golden immortal laws inside. Ningyu checked the 3 gold crystals and was dumbfounded. Although there was a certain possibility of golden immortal laws being born in the golden crystals, there were very few martial artists who could actually find golden immortal laws in the golden crystals. Even some golden immortal mighty figures found it difficult to find golden immortal laws in the golden crystals. However, Ningyu found a wisp of golden immortal laws in the 3 golden crystals thrown by the Red Devil. How could he not be shocked? Although he was shocked, Ningyu did not lose his composure. He took a deep breath and immediately threw the golden crystal with the golden immortal law into his mouth without saying a word. Crack! The golden crystal entered his mouth. Wait, you! The Red Devil saw Ningyu's actions and immediately shouted. However, before Hong Fiend could finish his sentence, Ningyu threw the golden crystal with the golden immortal laws into his mouth and chewed quickly. I was too careless. Since things had come to this, the Red Devil could only sigh and remind, I'll stand guard for you now. You have to refine the golden immortal laws within an hour. Otherwise, those pinnacle experts outside Blue Dragon Valley will definitely follow the aura and find you here. How powerful were the golden immortal laws? With the abilities of Holy Earth Mad Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord, they could naturally discover the existence of the golden immortal laws. Unless Ningyu could refine the golden immortal laws as soon as possible and use his own strength and some means to hide its aura. Otherwise, Holy Earth Mad Lord and the rest would definitely find their way here. Initially, the Red Devil thought that this place was very safe because there were a few passageways after entering Blue Dragon Valley. The passageway that he and Ningyu came from seemed to be the most dangerous one. Originally, Holy Earth Mad Lord and the rest would not take the risk to enter. However, now that Ningyu is refining the golden immortal laws, they might find their way here by following the aura. Therefore, the Red Devil was very worried. An hour? As the person in question, Ningyu sensed the danger. However, Ningyu was not someone who would give up easily. Since he had already swallowed the golden immortal laws, he naturally had to refine them with all his might. Devour! As he only had an hour, Ningyu did not waste any time. He immediately sat down cross-legged and began to refine the golden immortal laws. However, Ningyu had just begun to refine the golden immortal laws when he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. The golden immortal laws were extremely difficult to refine. Damn it, Ningyu could not help but curse. One must know that even a half-step golden immortal might not be able to refine the golden immortal laws within an hour, let alone Ningyu, who was only a half-step mystic immortal. The difference between a golden immortal and a mystic immortal was greater than the heavens. Although he cursed, Ningyu would not give up now. Kacha! He took a deep breath and swallowed the mystic crystals to replenish his immortal chi while refining the golden immortal laws. Thankfully, when Ningyu was trying to break through to half-step mystic immortal, he had tempered his body once. Otherwise, the impact of the golden immortal laws alone would have been enough to kill him. Swish! At the same time, in a certain passageway within Blue Dragon Valley, two martial artists appeared. These two martial artists were none other than Malicious Ghost Immortal Lord and their patriarch, Malicious Ghost Immortal Lord from Fallen Spirits Sect. The golden immortal laws have appeared. Malicious Ghost Immortal Lord was ecstatic. What was his motive for entering Blue Dragon Valley? Wasn't it to obtain the golden immortal laws and see if he could break through to the golden immortal realm? Now that he felt the aura of the golden immortal laws, how could he not be excited? Just think about it. If he could obtain a golden immortal law and refine it, his strength would rise qualitatively. At that time, although he might not be able to break through to the golden immortal realm, he would definitely be infinitely close to the golden immortal realm. Swish, swish, swish. At the same time, in another passageway, heaven-devouring immortal lord and three-eyed demon lord from Sacred Divine Palace, as well as their patriarch, Holy Earth Mad Lord, were all ecstatic. Almost without thinking, the three of them moved in a flash, searching for the aura of the golden immortal laws. Similar things were happening in various passageways. Madam Scorpion and Origin Demon Immortal Lord from Primeval Demon Sect, as well as their patriarch Primeval Immortal Lord, all ran out as if they had taken stimulants. Chapter 2106. Ningyu did not know what was happening in the other passageways of Blue Dragon Valley. Even though he tried his best to refine the golden immortal laws, he did not make much progress. After all, he was only a half-step mystic immortal and was a few levels away from a golden immortal. Not only did Ningyu fail to refine the golden immortal laws, he even spat out blood, and his aura became weaker. Damn it! At the side, Hongfian could not help but curse when he saw Ningyu's state. Hongfian knew very well, if Ningyu could not refine the golden immortal laws within a short period of time, the consequences would be dire. Swoosh! Right then, from afar, several red beams of light sped over. What the F***CK? Despite Hongfian's composure, he could not help but curse when he saw the red beams of light. Golden beetles. The red beams of light were none other than golden beetles. Swarms of golden beetles. On the surface, these golden beetles were several times stronger than the ones he had encountered earlier. When it rains, it pours. At this moment, to Ningyu and the Red Fiend, it was truly a case of rain falling on a roof. The boat was late, and it was hit by the wind again. Refine. The sudden change caused Ningyu's face to turn ashen. He gritted his teeth and burned the blood of his divine war body, his soul power, and even his life force. In short, in order to refine the golden immortal laws within a short period of time, Ningyu was going all out. It was either succeed or die trying. Bam! Under the premise that he was going all out, there was finally a slight change in the situation. A muffled sound came from within Ningyu's body. Immediately after, Ningyu's aura soared. 10%. It was obvious that the reason why Ningyu's aura soared was because he had refined 10% of the golden immortal laws. Even though it was only 10%, it was enough to restore Ningyu's strength to its peak. Bam! 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 One wrong step led to many wrong steps. One successful step led to many more successes. Obviously, Ningyu belonged to the second category. A series of muffled sounds came from his body as his strength continued to increase. Even though Ningyu had ignited the blood of his god of war physique, his soul force, and even his life force, it was still impossible for him to defeat Ningyu. However, the more you put in, the more you got in return. Ningyu's return was obviously greater than his investment. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before he would be able to completely refine the golden immortal laws. One could imagine that once Ningyu was able to refine the laws of golden immortals, his strength would definitely experience a qualitative improvement. At that time, Ningyu would even be able to easily annihilate an expert at the peak of the mysterious immortal realm. He would even be able to fight against a half-step golden immortal. There was even a chance that he could kill it. Drip, drip. Time was ticking away. Ningyu was doing his best to refine the golden immortal laws while the Red Fiend was fighting the golden beetle with all his might. The situation might seem harmonious, but it was not. As long as Holy Earth Madman and the others appeared, the illusion of harmony would be broken. Whoosh! There was not much time left for Ningyu and the Red Fiend, but it was not too little either. Half an hour later, 3 warriors tore through the void and appeared in the area. Heaven-devouring immortal lord, three-eyed demon lord, and Holy Earth Madman. These 3 warriors were all from the Holy Divine Palace. Among them, Heaven-devouring immortal lord and three-eyed demon lord attention was on the golden beetle. On the other hand, Holy Earth Madman's attention was on Ningyu. Ha ha ha! Holy Earth Madman threw his head back and laughed, his face filled with ecstasy. As the patriarch of Holy Divine Palace and a half-step golden immortal, Holy Earth Madman could naturally sense the aura of the golden immortal laws from Ningyu. Gulp! The more heaven-devouring immortal lord and three-eyed demon lord looked at the golden beetle, the more satisfied they were. They swallowed their saliva one after another and begged the Holy Earth Madman, "Ancestor, these golden-shelled insects, cut the crap. How many you can capture will depend on your luck." Before heaven-devouring immortal lord and the others could finish speaking, Holy Earth Madman waved his hand and said, "You only have one task, and that is to seal off this area. Don't let even a fly in." "No problem." Heaven-devouring immortal lord and three-eyed demon lord hurriedly nodded. They looked at each other and instantly made a decision. Heaven-devouring immortal lord was stronger. He was responsible for sealing off the surrounding area to prevent anyone from disturbing Holy Earth Madman, and also to trap the golden beetle. Three-eyed demon lord was slightly weaker, but it would not be a problem for him to deal with the golden beetle. His cultivation at the late stage Xian Immortal was enough to easily subdue the golden beetle. You can wear out iron shoes in a fruitless search only to find it by chance. Holy Earth Mad Lord looked at Ningyu and the corners of his lips curled up. He said sinisterly, "With this golden immortal rule, my strength will increase by several folds. I can even easily dominate Blue Dragon Valley. From now on, in Blue Dragon Valley, I will be stopped." "Stop!" Ningyu rolled his eyes and interrupted Holy Earth Madman. "Are you going to say that you're the king in Songlong Valley? I'm sorry, but I might have to disappoint you." Holy Earth Madman frowned and said coldly, "How dare you be so arrogant when you're about to die? This day, next year, will be the anniversary of your death." As soon as he said the word anniversary, Holy Earth Madman's body suddenly became illusory and disappeared in the blink of an eye. In a split second, Holy Earth Madman appeared in front of Ningyu. He threw a punch that carried a violent immortal chi and blasted it towards Ningyu's face. Holy Earth Madman's punch was extremely powerful. Even a half-step golden immortal with the same cultivation level as him might not dare to take it head-on. "I can test out the power of the golden celestial rule." Ningyu's expression changed. He used the golden celestial rule that he had just refined. Actually, before Holy Earth Madman appeared, Ningyu had already completely refined the golden celestial rule. He chose to pretend that he had not refined the golden celestial rule because he wanted to see how strong it was. Crack! In an instant, Ningyu's fist and Holy Earth Madman's fist collided. A crisp sound was heard. Then, both Ningyu and Holy Earth Madman took a few steps back. That's impossible. Holy Earth Madman had a look of disbelief. He had never imagined that his full-powered attack, a half-step Golden Immortal, would be blocked by a mere half-step Mystic Immortal. Holy Earth Madman did not think that Ningyu had refined the Golden Celestial Rule. After all, the Golden Celestial Rule was very powerful. Even he did not dare to say that he could refine it in a few hours. I didn't expect you to be pretending to be weak. Chapter 2107. Huh, I'm pretending to be weak. My cultivation level is at least a half-step abstruse immortal. Ningyu's eyes widened and his mouth opened slightly as he looked at Holy Earth Mad Lord in shock. He did not expect Holy Earth Mad Lord to have such thoughts. What pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger? What half-step profound immortal realm? All of this was pure nonsense. If Ningyu was really a half-step abstruse immortal, Holy Earth Mad Lord would have been killed long ago. Even Sacred Divine Palace would have been uprooted. I don't care why you're hiding your strength. As long as you give me the Golden Immortal Laws, I will let bygones be bygones. Holy Earth Mad Lord looked coldly at Ningyu and said fiercely, "Otherwise, I will let you know why flowers are so red." "I'm sorry, I already know why flowers are red. I don't need you to tell me." Ningyu shrugged. "What you need to consider now is how to face them." As he spoke, Ningyu stretched out his right hand and pointed behind Holy Earth Mad Lord. Moreover, Ningyu pointed and shouted, "Holy Earth Mad Lord, I've already given you all 4 Golden Immortal Laws. What more do you want? Are you going to kill me?" Swoosh, 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 as Ningyu shouted, the void behind Holy Earth Mad Lord suddenly split open and several martial artists appeared. Holy Earth Mad Lord knew all of them. They included Shady Ghost, Immortal Lord, and others from Fallen Spirit Sect, Primordial Demon Sect, Ancient Demon Immortal Lord from Ancient Demon Sect, and some abstruse immortal experts from other factions. At this moment, these martial artists were all glaring at Holy Earth Mad Lord like hungry wolves looking at their prey. "I didn't expect you to be so fast." Shady Ghost, Immortal Lord, looked at Holy Earth Mad Lord and stretched out his right hand. "Take it out. I only want 1 Golden Immortal Law. If you give me 1, I will leave immediately." "I want 1 too." "Me too. We want 1 too," Ghost Immortal Lord said. The remaining Primordial Origin Immortal Lord, Ancient Demon Immortal Lord, and the representatives of the other factions also spoke up to ask for the Golden Immortal Laws. With so many people asking for the Golden Immortal Law, the Holy Earth Madman's face turned extremely gloomy. Holy Earth Mad Lord clenched his fists tightly and turned to look at Ningyu. He said angrily, "You're really scheming. You actually want to kill me. I have no idea what you're talking about. At any rate, I've already given you all 4 Gold Immortal Laws. Even if you kill me, I will not have any Gold Immortal Laws." Ningyu put on a look of terror while his feet kept backing away. Swish, 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 swish. Seeing that Holy Earth Mad Lord was about to pursue Ningyu, Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord and the others moved to block him. "What do you want?" Holy Earth Mad Lord's expression was cold as he said in a deep voice, "I don't even have a single Golden Immortal Law on me." "We've all been deceived by Ningyu." "That's right, I did lie." Ningyu looked like he was struggling. He gritted his teeth and said, "Holy Earth Mad Lord only took 3 Golden Immortal Laws from me. Not 4, because I only have 3 Golden Immortal Laws in total. The reason why I said that was to make you fight among yourselves to kill Holy Earth Mad Lord for me." "Ha ha, listen, did I say anything wrong?" When the first half of Ningyu's sentence was heard, Holy Earth Mad Lord threw his head back and laughed, thinking that he was cleared of suspicion. Who would have thought that when Ningyu said the second half of his sentence, Holy Earth Mad Lord was dumbfounded. Ningyu's wishful thinking was perfect. He had played a careful trick. Under such circumstances, even if he edited it repeatedly, it would be of no use. Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord and Shady Ghost Immortal Lord would not believe him. The more he thought about it, the angrier Holy Earth Mad Lord became. "I'll kill you." The furious Holy Earth Mad Lord clenched his right fist and charged straight at Ningyu. However, Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord and the rest happened to be between Holy Earth Mad Lord and Ningyu. If Holy Earth Mad Lord wanted to kill Ningyu, he had to get past them. The result was obvious. Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord and the rest blocked Holy Earth Mad Lord. Damn it! Holy Earth Mad Lord was trembling with anger. Although he was strong, there was almost a 100% chance that he would lose against 3 or 4 experts of the same cultivation level. Red Fiend, get ready. When Holy Earth Mad Lord and the rest start fighting, we will leave immediately. Ningyu would not waste such a good opportunity. With a thought, he began to communicate with Red Fiend. Initially, Red Fiend was fighting with Heaven-Devouring Immortal Lord and Three-Eyed Demon Lord. But with the appearance of Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord and the rest, Heaven-Devouring Immortal Lord and Three-Eyed Demon Lord did not dare to be impudent. So Red Fiend was able to escape. Now, Red Fiend had already retreated to Ningyu's side and stood side by side with Ningyu. Can you contact Suing? Red Fiend threw the mystic crystal and a few pieces of golden crystal that he had obtained from refining the golden-shelled bug to Ningyu and said, "Although your idea is good, you can't hide it for long." Once Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord and the rest realize that they have been tricked, they will definitely be furious. Don't worry, I have already contacted Suing. Ningyu took a deep breath and said solemnly, "The reason why she wants me to go over and help is because she found a few golden immortal laws, but with her ability, she cannot refine all of them, so she wants me to go over and help her distribute them. Please bear the burden." Holy shit! Red Fiend revealed a look of pleasant surprise, but at the same time, he was also a little surprised. When others obtained golden immortal laws, they would want to refine them all. Even if they could not refine them, they would definitely not give them to others. Su Ying, on the other hand, actually wanted to give the golden immortal laws to Ningyu. Don't be too happy too early. Ningyu knew very well that even Su Ying could not refine golden immortal laws. If it were him, it would be very difficult. However, Ningyu was a little excited. In the past, he would most likely not be able to help Su Ying. But now that he had refined a golden immortal law, his strength had increased greatly. If he went to devour and refine the golden immortal laws, his strength would increase by several times if he succeeded. Therefore, Su Ying's request for help seemed risky, but in fact, the chances were high. Get ready, we'll do this later. Ningyu thought about it, and then whispered a few words into Red Fiend's ear. Hearing Ningyu's instructions, Red Fiend's eyes widened, and he could not help but give Ningyu a thumbs up. Brilliant, really brilliant. Whoosh! Ningyu and Red Fiend did not have to wait too long. Not far away, Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord and the rest finally could not take it anymore and began to attack Holy Earth Mad Lord. Let's go! The battle had just begun when Ningyu stomped on the ground and his body shot out. What? You have another golden immortal law? Chapter 2108. Swoosh! As expected, the Red Fiend's words were very lethal. Primordial Origin Immortal Lord, Shady Ghost Immortal Lord, and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord all looked at Ningyu. All of them wanted to leave the battlefield and chase after Ningyu. After all, to them, it was much easier to snatch the golden immortal laws from Ningyu than from Holy Earth Mad Lord. However, even though they wanted to chase after Ningyu, they did not dare to act rashly or leave the battlefield. If all this was a trap set by Ningyu, wouldn't they be at a disadvantage if they left the battlefield? Instead of chasing after Ningyu, they might as well stay and fight Holy Earth Mad Lord. After all, Holy Earth Mad Lord had 3 golden immortal laws. As long as they could kill Holy Earth Mad Lord, the 3 of them would not only obtain the golden immortal laws, but they would also be able to divide Holy Divine Palace among themselves. Let's go! Different from Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and the others, the other alliances left the battlefield. Their alliance was probably the weakest among the alliance. After much consideration, they decided to chase after Ningyu and snatch the golden immortal law from Ningyu. We fell for it. Deep in Blue Dragon Valley, Ningyu and the Red Fiend looked at each other and saw a trace of excitement in each other's eyes. Their plan was to trick these alliance members out and then kill them all in one fell swoop. Those who were willing to submit to them would be kept for their own use and included in Supreme Hall. As for those who were unwilling to submit, they would all be killed. In any case, these people had a grudge against Ningyu. Ningyu would not feel guilty at all if they were killed. Suing, come out. Ningyu shouted towards the depths of Blue Dragon Valley. We only have 5 minutes. We must finish off all these people within 5 minutes. Buzz, buzz. As soon as Ningyu shouted, the void trembled. Then, a warrior about the same age as Ningyu appeared. Who are you? Where's Void Surplus? Ningyu looked at the young woman before him and asked in confusion. Idiot, aren't I Void Abundance? The young woman rolled her eyes and said, I never expected that your cultivation would actually advance to the half-step mysterious, immortal realm in such a short period of time. Your natural talent is really high. Are you sure you're a Void Surplus? Ningyu looked at the young woman from head to toe. He still didn't quite believe it. After all, when he first met Su-Ying, she was just a little blonde girl. Now, not only was Su-Ying much taller, but even her hair had turned black. From a fledgling to a slender and elegant young woman, anyone would be puzzled. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Su-Ying rolled her eyes at Ningyu, then looked behind Ningyu and said, The highest cultivation is Peak Xian Immortal. There isn't even a half-step Golden Immortal. Very good, leave it to me. Xiao. As soon as she finished speaking, Su-Ying turned into an afterimage and rushed out. Seeing Su-Ying's action, Ningyu's mouth opened slightly, and he was stunned on the spot. Could it really be Su-Ying? She actually dared to rush out in the face of so many experts. Regardless of whether she could finish them off or not, her boldness alone was enough to make Ningyu look at her in a different light. What should we do? The Red Devil looked at Ningyu and asked, Enter the Red Devil sword and follow me to help. Ningyu's mind stirred, and he brandished the Red Devil sword. His body instantly swept out. Let Su-Ying deal with so many experts by herself? Sorry, but that wasn't Ningyu's style. Moreover, the real reason why Ningyu lured them here was to subdue them and let them join Supreme Palace. If Su-Ying went on a killing spree, wouldn't his efforts be in vain? Swoosh! The Red Devil sensibly fused with the Red Devil sword and joined the battlefield with Ningyu. Why is there another one? This person must also have a Golden Immortal Law. Let's attack together. Who knows? We might all be able to obtain a Golden Immortal Law. Haha! This trip to Blue Dragon Valley was not in vain. The other factions could join forces when Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and the rest were around. Now that they were far away from Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and the rest, the alliance naturally collapsed. These people fought on their own and even killed each other. After all, everyone wanted to obtain a Golden Immortal Law and did not want to fall behind. This created a great opportunity for Ningyu and Su-Ying. Su-Ying's attack method was very simple, her fists. Almost every warrior that was hit by Su-Ying's fists died on the spot. Ningyu saw clearly that 2 late-stage Xian Immortal experts were killed by Su-Ying with one punch. Submit. Ningyu suddenly flew into the air and raised the Red Devil sword in his hand, shouting, Or die. Submit my ass. As long as I can kill you, I can. Puffed. A late-stage Xian Immortal expert was tearing down Ningyu's stage. However, before this late-stage Xian Immortal finished speaking, he spat out a mouthful of blood and fell backward. Oomph. I don't believe you can do whatever you want. A puny half-step Xian Immortal. Puffed. Another peak Xian Immortal expert snorted coldly. However, before this peak Xian Immortal expert could finish his sentence, he spat out a mouthful of blood and fell backward. The slight difference from the previous time was that the person who attacked this time was not Ningyu, but Su-Ying. I didn't expect that your intention was to subdue them. Su-Ying shrugged and said, These people are all from mid-tier dominions. Before subduing them, you have to be prepared to be hunted by their sections. It's fine. If their sects dare to come after me, I'll uproot their sections. Ningyu waved his hand and said, Thank you for your help. Ningyu did not waste time on pleasantries. He glanced around coldly and said in a deep voice, You only have one chance. Submit or die. Swoosh. The surrounding martial artists' faces were livid. They had thought that they could seize the golden, immortal, nomological laws. But in the end, they fell into Ning Yu's trap and fell into Ning Yu's trap. The current situation was very clear. If they did not submit, only death awaited them. If they submitted, they might be able to live. However, even in such a clear situation, there were still people who chose to resist and become enemies with Ning Yu. Uft, uft, uft. The result was obvious. These resisting martial artists did not need Ning Yu to do anything. They were all killed by Su Ying. Su Ying could not wait for them to resist. Only then could she start a massacre. We submit. We're willing to submit. Please don't kill me. I'll open my mind and let you control me. I didn't want to be enemies with you from the beginning. From now on, as long as you give the order, I won't hesitate to go through water and tread on fire. A wise man submits to circumstances. Submitting to you might be a good choice. Since they were willing to submit to Ning Yu, they naturally had to say good things. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Chapter 2109. To be honest, before Ning Yu refined the Golden Immortal Law, it would have been impossible for him to control so many abstruse immortal experts at the same time. But now that he'd refined and absorbed a Golden Immortal Law, not to mention controlling all these mysterious immortal realm experts before him, it wouldn't be a problem for Ning Yu even if he could control twice as many of them. Swoosh! From the moment Ning Yu's soul force flew out to the moment he took control of these profound immortal experts, it took less than 3 minutes. Whoosh! When everything was done, Ning Yu could not help but let out a long sigh. Controlling so many abstruse immortal experts at once would be a great help to the Supreme Hall that was about to be established. Let's go. Ning Yu took a deep breath and said to Su Ying in a deep voice. Controlling these abstruse immortal experts was not the key. The key was the Golden Immortal Law in the depths of Blue Dragon Valley, the Golden Immortal Law that even Su Ying could not refine. Follow behind me. Su Ying did not waste any time. She rushed out first and led the way for Ning Yu. Chi-chi. Su Ying was so fast that the friction between her body and the void produced a hissing sound. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 10 minutes had passed. F***CK. Ning Yu cursed as he looked at the red figures that suddenly blocked his way. Ning Yu was very familiar with these red figures. He had even fought them before. Golden-shelled insects. The strength of the golden-shelled insects here had increased by another level. Even the weakest golden-shelled insect had a cultivation base of early-stage, abstruse immortal. Among these golden-shelled insects, Ning Yu even saw 5 especially huge golden-shelled insects. One had 2 steel-like feelers on top of its head, while the other 4 had 1 feeler on top of its head. The golden-shelled insect with 1 feeler on top of its head was a peak abstruse immortal. The golden-shelled insect with 2 feelers on top of its head was a terrifying half-step golden immortal. Get out of my way. Su Ying's expression turned ugly when she saw the sudden appearance of so many golden-shelled insects. From Su Ying's expression, it was clear that she did not want to become enemies with the golden-shelled insect army. 1 or 2 golden-shelled insects might not pose a threat to them, but what about 10? What about 100? Even a true half-step golden immortal would not be able to withstand such a swarm of golden-shelled insects. Unless a true powerhouse came, everyone would have to compromise. I only want 3 golden immortal laws. The golden beetle leader said, "Give me 3 golden celestial laws, and I will help you stop those clowns." A clown? Su Ying raised his brows and said disdainfully, "You're just a half-step golden immortal. There are at least 4 half-step golden immortal experts behind you. How are you going to defend against them?" "You don't have to worry about that," the golden-shelled insect leader said lightly. Voila! As the golden-shelled insect leader spoke, the golden-shelled insects behind it began to kill and devour each other. In just a few seconds, the number of golden-shelled insects had been reduced by half. The golden-shelled insects that survived were much stronger than before. There was one thing that shocked Ning Yu and Su Ying. After the commotion, another 4 golden-shelled insects beside the golden-shelled insect leader had sprouted feelers on their heads. 8 peak abstruse, immortal, golden-shelled insects. The number of peak golden-shelled insects beside the golden-shelled insect leader had increased from 4 to 8. They had become peak experts in a short time. Now, do I have the strength to defend against those clowns? The golden-shelled insect leader transformed into a middle-aged man. I only want 3 golden immortal laws. The rest is none of my business. Deal. Suing only thought for a moment before agreeing to the golden-shelled insect leader's request. Regardless of the golden-shelled insect leader's motives, 3 golden immortal laws was not a lot for him to defend against primordial origin immortal lord and the others. Happy working with you. The golden-shelled insect leader's lips curled into a smile. After giving a few instructions, he followed Su Ying and the others into the depths of Blue Dragon Valley. You guys stay behind as well. Ningyu did not feel at ease if he relied solely on the golden-shelled insects. That was why he left all the powerful beings that he had just control behind. This way, if there was even the slightest sign of trouble, he would be the first to know, and it would also prevent the golden-shelled insect from not doing its job. The golden-shelled insect leader did not care about Ningyu's actions. In any case, his goal was the golden immortal laws, not to make an enemy out of Ningyu and the others. Su Ying was very strong. The golden-shelled insect leader knew very well that Su Ying was afraid of wasting time. Otherwise, she would not have chosen a compromise. Ever since Su Ying entered Blue Dragon Valley, the golden-shelled insect leader had noticed her. All this time, the golden-shelled insect leader had been wary of Su Ying, so it had not made a move. Now, the golden-shelled insect leader had been waiting for this opportunity. We're here. Just as the golden-shelled insect leader was deep in thought, Su Ying's cool voice suddenly rang in his ear. The golden-shelled insect leader's reaction was normal, but Ningyu's jaw dropped, his face full of disbelief. This was because Ningyu realized that they had reached the end of the path. In front of them was a bronze wall. Open. Su Ying took a step forward, forcing out a drop of blood essence and fusing it with the bronze wall. Buzz, buzz, buzz. As soon as the drop of blood essence fused with the bronze wall split in the middle and slowly moved to both sides. Let's go. Su Ying took the lead and rushed in. The golden-shelled insect leader hesitated for a moment, then followed behind, entering the other side of the bronze wall. Ningyu and the Red Fiend did not think much of it. They obediently followed behind Su Ying. Bang! As soon as Ningyu and the others arrived on the other side of the bronze wall suddenly closed. The golden immortal laws in the 3 stone pillars on the left are yours. Su Ying pointed at the 3 stone pillars on the left and said to the golden-shelled insect leader, "You only have an hour. After an hour, the remaining golden immortal laws will not belong to you." After saying that, Su Ying did not wait for the golden-shelled insect leader to speak. He turned to look at Ningyu and said, "The golden immortal laws in the 3 stone pillars in the middle will be yours. You also only have an hour." At this, Su Ying paused for a moment, then continued, "I will collect the golden immortal laws in the last 3 stone pillars. Everyone, let's begin. Does that golden stone pillar contain golden immortal laws as well?" The golden-shelled insect leader looked at the huge stone pillar at the back and asked, "I want the golden immortal laws in that stone pillar. Are you sure?" Su Ying's expression was emotionless as he said, "The golden immortal laws in that stone pillar are very special. Even I do not have absolute confidence in refining it. If you really want it, I can give it to you. However, the golden immortal laws in the first 3 stone pillars will not belong to you." The golden-shelled insect leader looked conflicted. He was very conflicted because he did not know if Su Ying was telling the truth. Chapter 21:10. Pretend I didn't say anything. After much consideration, the golden-shelled insect leader finally gave up on the golden stone pillars. In a flash, it charged towards the 3 stone pillars on the left and began to use a secret technique to refine the golden immortal laws within the stone pillars. Be careful. Su Ying reminded Ningyu before starting to refine the golden immortal laws within the 3 stone pillars on the right. Don't worry, I know what to do. Ningyu nodded, indicating that he knew what to do. Since he already had 1 golden immortal law within him, Ningyu knew that there were a total of 6 golden immortal laws within the 3 stone pillars in the middle. As for the 3 stone pillars that the golden-shelled insect leader was facing, there were only 3 golden immortal laws within them. The 3 stone pillars that Su Ying chose did not have many golden immortal laws, but they were not few either. There were about 5 of them. Ningyu leaped up and came before one of the stone pillars, slapping it with his right hand. Crack! Ningyu's palm strike was extremely powerful. The stone pillar that was as thick as a person's waist was shattered by Ningyu's palm strike on the spot. Swoosh! Swoosh! When the stone pillar shattered, the 2 golden immortal laws within shot out. Get back here! Ningyu waved his hands repeatedly, grabbing a golden immortal law with each hand. Under the shocked gazes of Su Ying and the golden-shelled insect leader, he threw them into his mouth. Gulp! Ningyu's actions caused Su Ying and the golden-shelled insect leader to gulp down a mouthful of saliva. Both of them were a little confused. What kind of freak was Ningyu? Those were golden immortal laws. Why did Ningyu dare to swallow them alive? Puffed. However, Ningyu soon paid the price for his recklessness. Fresh blood spurted out of his mouth, and Ningyu's aura began to decline rapidly. The ignorant are truly fearless. The golden-shelled insect leader shook its head and no longer cared about Ningyu. Instead, it focused on refining its own golden immortal laws. I told you to be careful, but you didn't listen. Su Ying glared fiercely at Ningyu and said in a low voice, I'll only help you once. If you do this again, don't blame me for not helping you. Whoosh! In the next moment, Su Ying gave up on refining his golden immortal laws and came to Ningyu's side. He forced out 2 drops of blood essence and threw them to Ningyu. To be honest, Ningyu was a little dumbfounded by Su Ying's actions. He did not understand why Su Ying had given him the blood essence. Even though his aura dropped drastically and he even spat out a mouthful of blood, all of this was within his expectations. After all, he had devoured 2 golden immortal laws at once. It was completely normal for something like this to happen. Refine this drop of blood essence. It can help you devour 2 golden immortal laws. Su Ying left those words behind coldly and turned around immediately. All right. Ningyu rolled his eyes, then tossed the essence blood that Su Ying had tossed over into his mouth and began to devour and refine it. What the F***CK? The moment the essence blood entered his mouth, Ningyu could not help but curse out loud. The reason why Ningyu cursed out loud was not because Su Ying's blood essence was useless, but because it was way too useful. That drop of blood essence allowed Ningyu to recover to his peak state. In fact, even his strength had increased to a certain extent. Just who is Su Ying? Isn't he from an upper-tier faction? Ningyu frowned slightly and had a vague guess about Su Ying's identity. Initially, he thought that Su Ying was from an upper-tier faction like Zhao Rui. But from the looks of it, Su Ying seemed to be from an even stronger faction. Forget it. I'll refine the golden immortal laws first. Ningyu did not make too many guesses. He circulated his dermic arts and began to refine the 2 golden immortal laws in his body. Bam! 3 minutes passed. When the 4th minute arrived, a dull sound came from Ningyu's body. The dull sound meant that Ningyu had already refined the 2 golden immortal dermic laws. Again, Ningyu's expression was calm as he came before the 2nd stone pillar and slapped out with his right hand. Crack! A crisp sound was heard as the 2nd stone pillar shattered on the spot. Swoosh! Swoosh! Just like before, 2 golden immortal laws shot out of the stone pillar. Ningyu opened his mouth and the devouring power surged out of his body, swallowing the 2 golden immortal laws into his mouth without holding back. Due to his previous experience, Ningyu only took 2 minutes to refine the 2 golden immortal laws. In other words, a total of 5 minutes had passed, and there were already 5 golden immortal laws in Ningyu's body. 2 more to go. Ningyu was not one to waste time. He casually broke the last stone pillar and swallowed the golden immortal laws within. This time, Ningyu merely took a minute. How is that possible? At the side, the golden-shelled insect leader's mouth was wide open, and its face was filled with shock when it saw how quickly Ningyu had refined 6 golden immortal laws. 6 minutes to refine 6 golden immortal laws. Even a true golden immortal expert would find it difficult to achieve this speed of refinement. The golden-shelled insect leader looked at itself and then at Ningyu. Comparing the two, it nearly spat out a mouthful of blood. In 6 minutes, it had not even refined 1 golden immortal law, but Ningyu had already refined 6. It was truly a comparison. No, it should be said that comparing a golden-shelled insect was infuriating. 6 golden immortal laws. No, it's 7. Suing glanced at Ningyu. Halfway through her sentence, her expression changed. That was because she realized that after Ningyu devoured 6 golden immortal laws, he had 7 golden immortal laws. It was clear that Ningyu had a golden immortal law on him previously. As for the golden immortal law on Ningyu, it was hidden so deeply that even Suing did not notice it. 7 golden immortal laws. Perhaps there's a chance. Suing immediately gave up on devouring the golden immortal laws and flew to Ningyu's side. Taking a deep breath, Suing pointed at the golden stone pillar at the back and said in a deep voice, "Ningyu, there's only one reason why I asked you to come. I want you to help me trap the golden immortal laws in this stone pillar." Trap? Ningyu was slightly stunned. What do you want me to do? After I break the stone pillar, a golden immortal law will fly out. All you have to do is trap it for 3 minutes. Suing said, "To ensure that you can trap it for 3 minutes, I'll let you devour all the remaining golden immortal laws in these 3 stone pillars." In 6 minutes, Ningyu devoured and refined 6 golden immortal laws. As for Suing, she only devoured and refined 1. In other words, there were 4 more golden immortal laws in the 3 stone pillars on the right. Deal. There was no reason for him to reject golden immortal laws that were delivered to his doorstep. Ningyu nodded and charged out. Arriving beside the 3 stone pillars on the right, he slapped out with his right hand. "Kacha! Kacha! Kacha!" This time round, Ningyu decided to devour with all his might. He blasted all 3 stone pillars apart at once, and 4 golden immortal laws shot out from the stone pillars. Ningyu opened his mouth and swallowed all 4 golden immortal laws that shot out. Puss. Chapter 2111. Isn't that a little too much? Su Ying's mouth was agape as her face was filled with disbelief. She knew that Ningyu refined the golden immortal laws very quickly, but she did not expect it to be this fast. One had to know. Ningyu had spent a total of 6 minutes to refine the 6 golden immortal laws. But now, he had used less than a minute to refine 4 golden immortal laws. To refine 4 golden immortal laws in such a short period of time, that speed shocked Su Ying. You could go break the golden stone pillar now. Ningyu felt the 4 golden immortal laws in his body and nodded in satisfaction. He then said to Su Ying, "I think with my strength, I should be able to trap it for 3 minutes. Just you wait." Su Ying was not an indecisive person. She stomped on the ground and charged straight at the golden stone pillar. Kacha! Her right hand clenched into a fist, and Su Ying's fist brought with it a violent gust of immortal chi that slammed into the golden stone pillar. A crisp sound rang out. The golden stone pillar broke down from the middle, and a golden immortal law that was as thick as a person's waist shot out from within. What the F***CK? Looking at the waist-thick golden immortal law, Ningyu cursed on spot. Now, he finally knew why Su Ying needed his help. A waist-thick golden immortal law. No, perhaps it should not be called a golden immortal law. Ancestral immortal. This waist-thick golden immortal vaguely showed signs of breaking through to ancestral immortal law. Above mystic immortal was golden immortal. As long as one's cultivation reached golden immortal, one could be called a mighty figure and rule over the upper dominions. Above golden immortal was ancestral immortal. An ancestral immortal law was so important that even golden immortal mighty figures would fight over it. Gulp. Since Ningyu saw the waist-thick golden immortal law, the golden-shelled insect leader naturally saw it as well. At that moment, the golden-shelled insect leader gulped and stood rooted to the spot, not moving at all. The golden-shelled insect leader was not excited, but afraid. Ancestral immortal laws were extremely destructive. It already needed a long time to refine a golden immortal law, let alone ancestral immortal laws. Most importantly, ancestral immortal laws were uncontrollable. Given Su Ying and Ning Yu's strength, how could they possibly control the ancestral immortal laws? Once he lost control of the ancestral immortal laws, all the martial artists in the entire Blue Dragon Valley, including him, would die. What the hell are you guys doing? The golden-shelled insect shouted, "Quick, lock it. If you don't want to die, shut up and come over to help." Ning Yu snorted coldly and interrupted the golden-shelled insect leader's words. Now you have two choices. 1. Help me trap the ancestral immortal's law for 3 minutes to buy enough time for suing. 2. Die. Do I have a choice? The golden-shelled insect was not stupid. On the contrary, it was very intelligent. The current situation was very clear. Only by helping Ningyu trap the ancestral immortal laws and buying time for Su Ying would they have a chance of survival. Running away would only lead to death. Let's fight. Su Ying took out a silver-white elixir, gritted his teeth, and immediately threw it into his mouth. Boom! As soon as the elixir entered his mouth, Su Ying's body shook, and his aura rose rapidly. Bam! 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 With 3 muffled sounds. Su Ying's aura had already soared to the realm of a golden immortal. GG Golden. Golden immortal? The golden-shelled insect leader stuttered when he felt Su Ying's aura. He might be a half-step golden immortal, but with his talent, advancing to a true golden immortal was several times more difficult than ascending to the heavens. Now that a golden immortal was standing in front of him, and one that he had offended, how could he not be shocked? Mind your own business. Ningyu kicked the golden-shelled insect leader's butt. 3 minutes. The golden-shelled insect leader reacted immediately after being kicked by Ningyu. He was in the same boat as Su Ying. As long as he could trap the ancestral immortal's law for 3 minutes, Su Ying would be able to devour it. After devouring the ancestral immortal's law, Su Ying's strength would definitely increase by several levels. At that time, Su Ying would definitely not let him suffer. The more he thought about it, the more excited the golden-shelled insect leader became. He used all the energy in his body to trap the ancestral immortal's law. This is bad. The golden-shelled insect leader and Ning Yu had barely trapped the ancestral immortal's law for 3 minutes when they cried out at the same time. Su Ying, you only have 2 minutes. Ning Yu shouted. Holy Earth Mad Lord and the rest have already broken through the defensive line and are rushing over. If I'm not wrong, they will arrive in 2 minutes at most. Got it. Su Ying's eyes locked onto the ancestral immortal's law that was trapped in midair. He moved quickly and appeared beside it in the blink of an eye. Su Ying opened his mouth and swallowed the ancestral immortal's law. Whoosh! Just as Su Ying devoured the ancestral immortal's law, Holy Earth Mad Lord and Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord broke through the defensive line and landed. Ha ha ha! After appearing, Holy Earth Mad Lord and Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord threw their heads back and laughed. You can wear out iron shoes in a fruitless search, only to find it by chance. To think that there are so many golden immortals laws here. Only 4 people had come. Holy Earth Mad Lord, Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord, Ancient Demon Immortal Lord, and Shady Ghost Immortal Lord. As for Sacred Divine Palace's Heaven-Devouring Immortal Lord, Three-Eyed Demon Lord, Fallen Spirits Sex Malicious Ghost Immortal Lord, and Primordial Demon Sex Madam Scorpion, and Origin Demon Immortal Lord, they had all died in the battle. Rumble. At that moment, the entire Blue Dragon Valley let out a rumbling sound. Oh no, Blue Dragon Valley is going to collapse. Su Ying's expression changed. The golden pillars are the key to Blue Dragon Valley's existence for millions of years. Now that I've destroyed them, it means that Blue Dragon Valley will collapse completely and cease to exist. Holy shit. The golden-shelled insect leader's eyes widened. What we do now? Come, I'll bring you away. Su-Ying ignored Holy Earth Mad Lord and the rest. She grabbed the golden-shelled insect leader with her left hand and Ningyu with her right, tore through the void, and entered. What bad luck! Holy Earth Mad Lord and Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord did not look too good either. How could they be happy to see their cooked duck fly away? Moreover, they sensed an aura from Su-Ying that was stronger than the Golden Immortal's laws. Although they did not know what that aura was, they knew that it was something good even if they thought with their toes. Su-Ying was not in a good state just now. To them, this might be the best chance to capture her. If they missed this opportunity, it would be hard to find another one in the future. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. After Holy Earth Mad Lord and the rest left Blue Dragon Valley, they flew towards their territories. They wanted to gather their forces to capture Ningyu, Su-Ying, and the rest. No one wanted to give up a piece of meat that was already in their mouths. Chapter 2112. Kacha. What Holy Earth Madman and the others did not know was that in an area not too far away from Blue Dragon Valley, the void suddenly split open and 3 warriors emerged from it. Ningyu, Su-Ying, the golden-shelled insect leader. These 3 martial artists were Ningyu and the others. I'm going back immediately. Do you want to come with me? Su-Ying did not waste time with Ningyu. She went straight to the point and asked, now that things have come to this, I can tell you some things. I come from the Brilliant Void Weave. Brilliant Void territory? Ningyu was slightly taken aback. He didn't quite understand. After arriving in a higher plane, he only knew of the middle and high weaves. Middle-tier weaves, such as the Holy Land Weave and Heaven Policy Weave. The upper-class domains, such as the one where the Central Divine Dynasty was located. Was this Brilliant Void Weave a high-tier or mid-tier weave? The Brilliant Void Weave is a supreme weave. As if she had guessed Ningyu's thoughts, Shui-Ying said, with your talent, as long as you follow me back to the Brilliant Void Weave, it won't take long for you to advance to the Mystic Immortal level. You might even have a chance to become a Golden Immortal in the future. Sorry, I still have something to do. Ningyu shook his head without hesitation and rejected Su-Ying's invitation. His parents, the Dark Emperor, Ning Lu, and others were all in the Central Divine Dynasty. Before saving the Dark Emperor and the others, he would not go anywhere. All right, if you have the chance, you can find me in the Brilliant Void Weave. Su-Ying smiled at Ningyu, and then her body gradually became illusory. Hey. If he doesn't go to the Brilliant Void territory with you, I'd be happy to. Seeing Su-Ying leaving, the golden-shelled insect hurriedly said, I want to go back with you. If you're not afraid of death, you can follow me. An ethereal voice sounded in the golden-shelled insect's ears. Hearing this, the golden-shelled insect leader was shocked. After much consideration, the golden-shelled insect leader decided not to follow Su-Ying to the Brilliant Void territory. After all, he knew nothing about the Brilliant Void Weave. Rather than following Su-Ying to the Brilliant Void Weave, he might as well stay behind with Ningyu. At any rate, Ningyu was not weak, and he had 11 Golden Immortal Laws. Damn it, if I had just a few more minutes, I would have been able to refine the 3 Gold Immortal Laws within Azure Dragon Valley. The golden-shelled insect leader couldn't help but curse. In his heart, if he could refine 3 Golden Immortal Laws, he would have an absolute advantage in his collaboration with Ningyu. But now, Ningyu had 11 Golden Immortal Laws while he didn't even have a single one. Sha. While the golden-shelled insect was thinking, Ningyu suddenly moved and walked away. When Ningyu left, the golden-shelled insect leader was shocked. Where are you going? What else can I do? Of course, I'm going to find trouble with Holy Land Madman and the others. Ningyu shrugged and said indifferently. Holy Land Madman and the others had killed many abstruse immortal experts that Ningyu had subdued. Ningyu had to take revenge for this. If not for the sudden explosion in Azure Dragon Valley, Ningyu would have already attacked Holy Land Madman and the others. Why would he wait until now? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. We can work together, the golden-shelled insect leader said. Holy Land Madman and the others killed your captives and many of my subordinates. Let's work together and kill our way over. You want to kill our way over with me? Ningyu sized up the golden-shelled insect leader. You're a half-step golden immortal, but you don't even have a single golden immortal law. What's the use of you following me? Ningyu's merciless mockery made the golden-shelled insect leader tremble with anger. But on second thought, Ningyu's words were not without reason. His strength was no longer enough. It was true that a half-step golden immortal would not be of much help if he was with Ningyu. Do you know what our golden-shelled insect's innate ability is? The golden-shelled leader rolled its eyes and said, Treasure detection. Think about it. When you kill Holy Land Madman and take over Sacred Divine Palace, you'll definitely plunder their treasures. That's how my usefulness will show. The golden-shelled insect leader patted his chest. I can guarantee that as long as I'm here, nothing can escape my senses. That seems to make a bit of sense. Ningyu nodded. Then follow me. But you have to get my permission before you do anything. Of course, of course. The golden-shelled insect leader quickly nodded. Find a place to rest for a few days, then follow me to Sacred Divine Palace. Ningyu's figure flashed, and he flew straight out. Although Ningyu was very confident in his strength, this was an attack on Sacred Divine Palace. He might encounter strong resistance. To be on the safe side, it was better to rest first. When he had completely adapted to the 11 Golden Immortal Laws, he would attack Sacred Divine Palace. Crack! 3 days later, in a secret room of Sacred Divine Palace, Holy Land Madman slapped the wall next to him, and a few cracks appeared on the wall that was made of cold iron. Sacred Dragon Guard, Holy Land Madman said in a low voice. Whoosh! As soon as Holy Land Madman's voice fell, the void around him suddenly split open, and 4 martial artists appeared. These 4 martial artists were all at the peak of Xian Immortal, and were only a step away from becoming a half-step Golden Immortal. Sacred Dragon Team 1 and Team 2, go and investigate Ningyu's whereabouts. Sacred Dragon Team 3 and Team 4, go and find all the Palace Masters of Sacred Divine Palace. I have important orders. Holy Land Madman said coldly. Bang! At the same time, Primordial Demon Sect, Primordial Origin Immortal Lord said coldly. Primordial Origin Immortal Guard Team 1 and Team 2, investigate Ningyu's whereabouts. Inform me immediately if there is any news. Primordial Origin Immortal Guard Team 3 and Team 4, go and find all the experts above Xian Immortal Cultivation. I want to issue a mission. Swoosh! The same thing happened in Fallen Spirits Sect and Ancient Demon Sect. Even the Heaven's Mysteries Sect and the other mid-sized weaves were mobilized. Instantly, with Blue Dragon Valley as the center, the dominions within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles began to move. Surprisingly, everyone had the same goal. Ningyu. Investigate Ningyu's whereabouts and capture Ningyu, dead or alive. What everyone did not know was that under this crazy pressure, Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader had already disguised themselves and arrived at the city where Sacred Divine Palace was located. Sacred Land Main City. Sacred Land Main City was the main city of Sacred Land Territory. The main palace of Sacred Divine Palace was located in the most central area of Sacred Land Main City. Creek. At this time, no one noticed that Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader had blended into the crowd and swaggered into Sacred Land Main City. What are we going to do now? Go straight to Sacred Divine Palace and kill Holy Land Madman? Chapter 21:13. If you think you can kill Xingta Madlord, I won't stop you. Ningyu glanced at the golden-shelled leader. Kill his way into the Sacred Divine Palace? How could the golden-shelled leader even think of that? Even though he had 11 golden immortal laws and was a half-step arcane immortal, he wouldn't do something as stupid as killing his way into the Sacred Divine Palace. The Sacred Divine Palace was the blood and sweat of Xingta Madlord, an old monster who had lived for tens of thousands of years. It was better to be careful when dealing with such a person. Maybe I can really kill Holy Earth Madman. The golden-shelled leader thought to himself. It was no wonder that the golden-shelled leader would think so. Shung to Mad Lord was a half-step golden immortal, and so was the golden-shelled leader. As a half-step golden immortal, the golden-shelled leader wouldn't admit that he was no match for Shung to Mad Lord. What are you mumbling about? Let's find a place to rest and gather some information. Ningyu walked towards the biggest restaurant in the main city of the Holy Land, the Shungshan restaurant. All right, because the golden-shelled insect was much weaker than Ningyu, it could only listen to Ningyu's orders. The Sacred Deity Restaurant was the largest restaurant in the city under the banner of the Sacred Divine Palace. As a high-end restaurant, the Sacred Deity Restaurant had strict requirements for every guest. Any martial artist whose cultivation was lower than an Earth Immortal was not allowed to enter the restaurant. Wait! As soon as Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader arrived at the entrance, they were stopped by two guards. Please show me your invitation. One of the guards stretched out his right hand and said, Invitation? The golden-shelled leader was taken aback. We just want to have a meal. Do we need an invitation? According to the rules of the restaurant, any martial artist whose cultivation is lower than an Earth Immortal must show an invitation if they want to enter the restaurant, the other guard said emotionlessly. Although Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader's cultivation base was higher than the Earth Immortal realm, they had concealed their chi, so in the eyes of others, they were only mid-human immortals, not even Earth Immortals. Under such circumstances, it was reasonable for the two guards of the restaurant to stop them. Humph! The Holy Spirit Restaurant is the biggest restaurant in the main city of the Holy Land. It's also the most prestigious restaurant. Not everyone can go there. Just as Ningyu was wondering if he should slightly display the aura of an earthly immortal, a cold snort suddenly reached his ears. Whoosh! Hearing this voice, Ningyu didn't have time to react, but the golden-shelled insect's face darkened. He, the dignified leader of the golden-shelled insects, a half-step golden immortal, was mocked by a heaven immortal expert as a nobody. If this could be tolerated, what couldn't? Dong! The golden-shelled insect leader took a step forward and looked at the young warrior coldly. What did you say? If you have the guts, say it again. Oh, you're quite stubborn. Yang Qingxi raised an eyebrow, a playful smile on his face. As a peerless genius of the Holy Divine Palace, Yang Qingxi was full of mettle. Previously, Yang Qingxi could only rank in the top 20 in the Holy Divine Palace, and he couldn't even make it into the top 20. But just this morning, he successfully charged into the heavenly immortal realm and became a heavenly immortal expert. After becoming a heaven immortal, Yang Qingxi could even make it into the top 10 in the Holy Divine Palace. Under such circumstances, Yang Qingxi was in a good mood, so he decided to come to the Holy Spirit Restaurant. Unexpectedly, he ran into two human immortal experts in front of the restaurant. It wasn't a big deal to run into human immortal experts. After all, there were so many people on the street, and there were bound to be a few martial artists passing by the restaurant. However, the two human immortal realm cultivators were planning to enter the Holy Deity Restaurant. Yang Qingxi felt that as a peerless genius of the Holy Divine Palace, he had the responsibility and obligation to maintain order in the restaurant. Look, it's Yang Qingxi. Yang Qingxi is a peerless genius of the Holy Divine Palace, ranked in the top 50 of the genius list. Ranked in the top 50? It's obvious that you're up. Just this morning, someone saw Yang Qingxi successfully breaking through to the Sky Immortal stage. He's a Sky Immortal now. Heaven Immortal? You mean Yang Qingxi has become a Heaven Immortal? Soon, the restaurant was surrounded by a group of people. These people were obviously here to watch the show. Some martial artists who knew Yang Qingxi began to discuss. These martial artists had the same thought. Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader were going to be in trouble. When he was still a peak Earth Immortal, Yang Qingxi was a bully who would beat up anyone he disliked. Anyone who offended Yang Qingxi would not have a good ending unless they had a strong background. I would like to see how you two nobodies are going to enter the Holy Spirit Restaurant. Yang Qingxi's lips curled up and he said sinisterly, no invitation letter and only a mid-stage human immortal. Hee hee. Trash is trash indeed. You can't say that. All of a sudden, an indifferent voice rang out in the area. Whoosh! Then, the void split open, and a young martial artist appeared. Sun Yong. Yang Qingxi's face darkened when he saw the young martial artist. Sun Yong, ranked 9th in the Holy Divine Palace, was an early-stage heaven immortal. Yang Qingxi had always been bullied by Sun Yong. Now that he saw Sun Yong, it was like meeting an enemy. Even though the two of them are only in the mid-human immortal stage, they are both invited by me. Naturally, they are qualified to enter the divine restaurant. Ignoring Yang Qingxi's murderous gaze, Sun Yong walked up to Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader, took out 2 invitation letters, and handed them over. These 2 letters are for you. Go into the restaurant first. I will be there in a moment. The golden-shelled leader was about to lose his temper, but when he saw Ningyu's gaze, he took the 2 letters. It was not that Ningyu was afraid of Yang Qingxi and Sun Yong, but he thought that he could find a way to enter the Holy Divine Palace safely through Sun Yong and Sun Yong. Some things could not be done with brute force. Unless one had absolute strength that could suppress the enemy's strength, it was better to be careful. Moreover, after seeing Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi, Ningyu changed his mind. He felt that he should support these 2 puppets and let them help him meet with the higher-ups of the Holy Divine Palace, so that he could slowly devour them. By then, he would be able to control the Holy Divine Palace from the inside out. Not only would it save him a lot of trouble, but he could also make the Holy Divine Palace work for him. After all, he still had to go to the primeval demon sect, fallen spirit sect, ancient demon sect, and other forces. If he really went on a killing spree and barged into the Holy Divine Palace, these powerful forces might join forces. Chapter 21:14. I'd like to see who will be able to enter the sacred immortal restaurant today. Yang Qingxi snorted as he took a step forward and stood in front of the sacred immortal restaurant. From Yang Qingxi's stance, it was obvious that he was really angry. It was obvious that if Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader insisted on entering the sacred immortal restaurant, Yang Qingxi would definitely make a move. There's going to be a good show this time. I think Sun Yong will win. After all, he's a veteran genius, ranked 9th on the genius ranking. It's hard to say. Yang Qingxi has also advanced to the heavenly immortal realm. It's hard to say who will win. Hard to say. Yang Qingxi will definitely lose, and he will lose very badly. Pucci. However, before the last cultivator could finish his sentence, he vomited a mouthful of blood and was sent flying backward. Bang! The sound of flesh hitting the ground could be heard. The cultivator who supported Sun Yong struggled for a while before his eyes rolled back, and he died on the spot. Whoosh! Sun Yong's face darkened when he saw Yang Qingxi killing the cultivator who supported him. A slap in the face. A naked slap in the face. Killing the cultivator who supported him in front of him was even more sinister than attacking him directly. Sun Yong knew very well that if he couldn't handle this matter well, no one would dare to rely on him in the future. After all, if he couldn't even protect his own people, how could he protect others? You're courting death. Sun Yong's figure flickered as he charged at Yang Qingxi. Sun Yong clenched his right fist and used all his strength in the first move. You're the one who's courting death. Yang Qingxi's face turned cold. He clenched his right fist and met the attack. Bang! The 2 fists collided and a crisp sound was heard. Then, the 2 figures were sent flying back at the same time. Yang Qingxi and Sun Yong were evenly matched in this exchange. Neither of them could do anything to the other. Ningyu, why don't we kill them? While Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi were fighting, the golden-shelled leader was having a secret conversation with Ningyu. The golden-shelled leader couldn't understand why the golden-shelled leader would sit back and do nothing when someone was bullying it. Don't worry, there will be a time for you to make your move. How could Ningyu not know what the golden-shelled insect was thinking? With the golden-shelled insect leader's temper, it must be very angry at this moment. However, Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi were important parts of his plan, so they couldn't die for now. In other words, he couldn't die in public. Rumble. The battle between Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi caused a huge commotion. According to Ning Yu's observation, their strengths were almost on par. If they really had to be differentiated, Sun Yong should be slightly stronger. However, Sun Yong's strength wasn't enough for him to kill Yang Qingxi in a short time. Therefore, the battle between Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi could not be decided within a short period of time. Let's go. After watching for a few minutes, Ning Yu winked at the golden-shelled insect, signaling it to give the invitation letter to the two guards. The golden-shelled insect immediately handed over the invitation letter. With the invitation, the two guards of the restaurant naturally let them in. Therefore, the culprits that caused the fight between Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi, Ning Yu and the golden-shelled insect swaggered into the Shengshan restaurant. But Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi were still fighting. Bang! Yang Qingxi's eyes were very sharp. As soon as Ning Yu and the golden-shelled insect entered the restaurant, Yang Qingxi punched Sun Yong and quickly rushed into the restaurant. "Where are you going?" Sun Yong shouted and hurriedly followed him. Although Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi were fighting fiercely outside the restaurant, once they entered the restaurant, they immediately restrained themselves. There was a rule in the Shengshan restaurant. You could fight outside the restaurant, but once you enter the restaurant, you were not allowed to fight in any form. If you violated the rule, you would be kicked out of the restaurant, and if it was serious, your cultivation would be abolished. Therefore, after Sun Yong and Yang Qingxi entered the Shengshan restaurant, they became very obedient. "Where are the two people just now?" Yang Qingxi stopped a waiter and said in a deep voice, "A young martial artist and a middle-aged man. They went to the second floor's Sky Room 9. The waiter who was stopped answered, "Russell." Yang Qingxi moved his feet and quickly headed to the second floor. "Don't bother. Room number 9 is my exclusive room. Without my token, it's impossible for you to enter," Xiao Chan said coldly. Sun Yong looked at Yang Qingxi's back and smiled. "Although you've advanced to the Sky Immortal Realm, the genius ranking hasn't been updated yet. So, you better go to the Earth Room." The Shengshan restaurant was very big, very big. Any expert on the genius ranking would have their own private room. For example, Sun Yong was ranked 9th on the genius ranking, so his exclusive room was Sky Room 9. Yang Qingxi was previously ranked 28th on the genius ranking, so his exclusive room could only be Earth Room 28. Unless the genius ranking was updated and Yang Qingxi regained his ranking, he could only go to his exclusive room. Of course, it was different if someone else invited him. If Sun Yong invited Yang Qingxi could go to Sky Room 9. "Halt!" A guard in front of Sky Room 9 stopped Yang Qingxi. "Please show me your invitation or the token of the genius ranking 9th. Hee. Sun Yong smiled and waved the token in front of Yang Qingxi's face. Then, he strode into the room. As for Yang Qingxi, he was stopped by the guard. "Damn it!" Yang Qingxi cursed under his breath and went to the first floor. Since Yang Qingxi couldn't get the token of the genius ranking, he could only go to his private room, Earth Room 28. "Who allowed you to sit here?" At this time in the Sky Room number 9, Sun Yong looked at Ning Yu and the golden-shelled insect who were sitting on the chairs and said coldly, "How dare you sit on my chair? You must be tired of living. I'll leave it to you." Ning Yu knocked on the table with his right hand and said to the golden-shelled insect, "I don't care what you do, as long as you don't die. Leave it to me." The golden-shelled insect patted its chest and promised. After waiting for so long, the golden-shelled insect finally got its chance. Although it was Yang Qingxi who mocked it outside the restaurant, it didn't like Sun Yong at all. Plus, Sun Yong's commanding tone made the golden-shelled insect very angry. "Wait." The golden-shelled insect wanted to stop it, but Ning Yu waved his hand and said, "You have to think carefully before you do anything. First, lock the room. We don't want anyone to notice this place. Look at me." The golden-shelled insect slapped its head and said, "I will lock the room now." Whoosh. Chapter 21:15. What are you trying to do? Seeing that the golden-shelled insect leader had sealed the room, Sun Yong's expression changed slightly. He said in a deep voice, This is the Shengshan restaurant, the territory of the Shengshan Palace. Anyone who dares to behave atrociously here will only have one ending, and that is, shut up. Before Sun Yong could finish his sentence, the golden-shelled insect waved its hand and shot out a beam of cold light. Swoosh! The cold light was so fast that it arrived in front of Sun Yong in the blink of an eye. Seeing this, Sun Yong hurriedly gathered the immortal qi in his body onto his wrist. Then he swung his wrist out, hoping to block the attack of the cold light. Bang! However, Sun Yong had underestimated the power of the cold light. As soon as his hands came into contact with the cold light, his body fell backward like a kite with a broken string. Crack! The tables and chairs were shattered, and Sun Yong was lying on the ground like a dead dog. You. Who are you people? Sun Yong opened his eyes with difficulty and stared at Ning Yu and the golden-shelled insect leader. After that attack, Sun Yong had a rough idea of the golden-shelled insect leader's cultivation. Half-step Xian Immortal. Sun Yong was only at the early stage of Heaven Immortal. He had no chance to fight back against a half-step Xian Immortal. If the golden-shelled insect leader wanted to, he would have died many times over. The golden-shelled insect leader didn't know that Sun Yong had mistaken him for a half-step Xian Immortal. If he knew, he would probably laugh it off. After all, the aura of a half-step Xian Immortal was released by him temporarily. His real cultivation was not a half-step Xian Immortal, but a half-step Golden Immortal. You don't need to know who we are for now. The golden-shelled insect leader grabbed Sun Yong's shoulder and threw him in front of Ningyu. You only have one task now, and that is to answer our questions. Okay, dying in the hands of a half-step Xian Immortal is not a wish. Sun Yong gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice, ask away. As long as it's something I know, I will definitely tell you everything I know. Dong, dong, dong. Ningyu gently tapped the table with his right hand and said after a while, call all the top 10 martial artists of the Shengshan Palace. Hearing this, Sun Yong was slightly startled. He did not know what Ningyu's intentions were. After all, his cultivation was at the initial stage of the heavenly immortal realm, and he was only ranked 9th on the genius rankings. Before him, there were still 8 peerless villains. Among them, the top 3 martial artists on the genius roll had even reached the peak of the sky immortal stage. Some time ago, Sun Yong had heard by chance that Zhou, one who was ranked first on the genius rankings, had very likely broken through his limits and attained a mysterious immortal realm. Thinking of this, Sun Yong said honestly, give me 3 hours. After 3 hours, I'll definitely call all of them over. Too slow. Ningyu shook his head and said, you only have 10 minutes. Sun Yong's expression changed slightly. There was only one possibility for the top 10 experts on the genius ranking to gather together in 10 minutes, and that was that they were all in the Holy Deity restaurant. Apart from this, there was no other way. 10 minutes is really too short. Can you give me a little more time? Sun Yong had no choice but to bite the bullet. Ningyu glanced at Sun Yong and didn't say another word. Opportunities were only given to those who were prepared. Actually, when he entered the Holy Deity restaurant, he had already sensed that there was a gathering of geniuses on the 3rd floor. Not only were there genius experts, but there were also 1 or 2 mysterious immortals. Those geniuses should be martial artists on the genius ranking, and those 2 mysterious immortals should be the elders of the Holy Deity Palace. On the 3rd floor of the Holy Deity restaurant, Yang Chengxi stood respectfully in front of room 10, not daring to make any movements. Creak! With a soft sound, the closed door of the room opened slowly. You're Yang Chengxi? After the door opened, a young martial artist in blue walked out and sized Yang Chengxi up. He curled his lips and said, I heard that you've advanced to the early stage of the sky immortal stage. Looks like you're nothing much. Brother Zheng is right. I'll definitely work hard from now on. Yang Chengxi didn't dare to act rashly in front of the young man in blue. Zheng Feng ranked 5th on the genius ranking, with a late-stage sky immortal stage. Although Yang Chengxi had advanced to the early stage sky immortal stage, he was still like an ant in front of Zheng Feng. We're discussing something important. Go to room 9 and call Sun Yong over. Zheng Feng waved his hand and said indifferently, both of you are early stage sky immortal stage, barely able to squeeze into the top 10 of the genius ranking. That's why you can participate in this matter. Call Sun Yong? Yang Qingxi was stunned at first. Then he quickly turned around with a look of ecstasy. Yang Qingxi's actions caused Zheng Feng to be a little puzzled. Wasn't it just to call Sun Yong? Was there a need to be so excited? Zheng Feng shrugged and turned to enter the room. This matter is of great importance. I hope you'll prepare well. There were a total of 2 mysterious immortal experts in the room. At this moment, the slightly older mysterious immortal expert said in a deep voice, as long as you can capture Ningyu alive, the old ancestor will definitely reward you handsomely. He might even make an exception to allow you to enter the sacred place of the sect, soak in the divine deity pool for a day, and be personally received by the old ancestor. Rumble. As soon as the mysterious immortal expert's voice fell, there was a commotion in the room. The divine deity pool was the forbidden area of the holy deity palace. Even some mysterious immortal experts racked their brains to soak in the divine deity pool. Because the energy in the divine deity pool was very pure, a mysterious immortal expert soaking in it for a day would have a great possibility of improving his cultivation, let alone a heaven immortal expert. Elder He, what's Ning Yu's cultivation? Zheng Feng, who had just entered the room, asked. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you'll always be victorious. After all, they were going to capture Ning Yu, so it was absolutely necessary to know Ning Yu's cultivation in advance. Half-step mysterious immortal. The mysterious immortal expert called Elder, he did not hide anything and said, but you must not be careless. It's very likely that there's an expert following Ningyu because the old ancestor has summoned all the mysterious immortal experts of the holy deity palace and even mobilized the sacred dragon guard. Hiss! This time, all the geniuses in the private room gasped in shock. They were not very afraid of Ning Yu having an expert following him because they could lure him away. But the fact that the old ancestor mobilized the sacred dragon guard was a little thought-provoking. The minimum requirement to enter the Sacred Dragon Guard was to advance to the mysterious immortal level and defeat 10 puppets of the same level. Among all the experts on the genius ranking, only Zhou Wen had the highest chance of being promoted to the Sacred Dragon Guard. Don't be careless. The Sacred Dragon Guard might have another mission. They might not be targeting Ningyu. The other short elder son waved his hand and said. However, halfway through elder son's words, he was interrupted by a voice from outside the room. Chapter 21:16. Who is it? The words that came to their ears made all the martial artists in the room turn pale. They hurriedly shifted their eyes to the door of the room. Creak! At that moment, the tightly shut door of the private room slowly opened. A group of 4 martial artists appeared in front of Elder He and the others. Among the 4 of them, Elder He and the others knew 2 of them, Yang Qingxi, who had just become a Sky Immortal, and Sun Yong, who was ranked 9th on the genius list. As for the other 2 martial artists, Elder He and the others had never seen them before, nor did they know them. Aren't you looking for me? Ningyu shrugged, found a chair, and sat down. He said indifferently, seal the room. Whoosh! The golden-shelled insect leader knew what to do even without Ningyu's instruction. The golden-shelled insect leader waved its hands and instantly sealed off the entire room. No one could break the seal unless their cultivation was higher than the golden-shelled insect leader. You are Ningyu. Elder He and the others' expressions changed slightly. But soon, their expressions changed from shock to ecstasy. They had worn out iron shoes in fruitless search, only to find what they were looking for without even looking for it. Wasn't the purpose of their discussion here to find Ningyu? Now that Ningyu had appeared in front of them, how could they not be excited? Yang Qingxi, you did a good job. This time, I will definitely put in a good word for you in front of the ancestral patriarch, and I will also recommend you to cultivate in the sacred deity pool. Elder He looked at Yang Qingxi and nodded with satisfaction. Thank you, Elder. Yang Qingxi was flattered and quickly thanked him. For him, entering the sacred deity pool to cultivate was secondary. The main thing was the opportunity to meet the ancestral patriarch. The ancestral patriarch of the sacred divine palace had always been elusive. It could be said that in the sacred divine palace, there were less than 5 people who had seen the sacred earth madman. Ningyu, come over and kneel. Seeing that Elder He and Elder Sun were in the room, Sun Yong became much bolder. He looked at Ningyu coldly and said darkly, I've said it before, I'll pay you back 100-fold for what you did to me. Did he say anything like that? Ningyu looked at the golden-shelled insect and asked. The golden-shelled insect tilted its head and thought for a second. I don't think so. You're courting death. Sun Yong gritted his teeth. However, Sun Yong did not dare to attack Ningyu. As far as he knew, Ningyu was not scary. The scary one was the golden-shelled insect leader, the middle-aged man next to him. Elder He, be careful of that middle-aged man. He's a half-step profound immortal. Sun Yong's chest heaved up and down as he gritted his teeth and said fiercely, as long as we can capture him, Ningyu will definitely submit obediently. This is simple. The corner of Elder He's lips curled up. I will deal with the middle-aged man. Elder Sun, deal with Ningyu. Shio. Elder He's figure flashed, and he dashed towards the golden-shelled insect leader. As for Elder Sun, he stomped on the ground and charged toward Ningyu. Bang! Bang! In the blink of an eye, 2 silhouettes were sent flying. This is impossible. How is this possible? Who's hiding around? Come out now. The faces of the martial artists in the private room suddenly changed, and they all shouted. The silhouettes that were sent flying were none other than Elder He and Elder Sunday. Strictly speaking, Elder Sun's situation was more miserable. Although Elder He was defeated, he fought with the golden-shelled insect, and he was defeated by the golden-shelled insect. However, Elder Sun's defeat was due to a single gaze. Ningyu just glanced at Elder Sun, and Elder Sun flew straight out and fell on his face. Who the hell are you? You are not Ningyu. Elder Sun struggled to get up from the ground and said coldly, Ningyu is only a half-step abstruse immortal. He can't be stronger than you. Think what you want. Ningyu shrugged and said indifferently, all of you have 2 choices now. The first, submit to me. The second, die. Submit my ass. This is the Sheng Shun restaurant, Sheng Shun Palace. A prodigy roared. However, this prodigy's eyes suddenly widened, and he vomited blood, dying on the spot. You only have 1 chance. I hope you choose carefully. Ningyu twisted his neck and continued. I will not submit to you. Yang Qingxi said coldly. Yang Qingxi died. This is the Sheng Shun, Zheng Feng shouted. Zheng Feng died. In a short period of time, 3 prodigies had died in the private room. Elder He and Elder Sun's expression changed. They were the ones who had called for this gathering. If too many geniuses were killed or injured, the final blame would definitely fall on their heads. Instead of making an enemy out of Ningyu here, they might as well pretend for now. When they arrived at the Sheng Shun Palace, they would naturally have a way to deal with Ningyu. Aren't you going a little overboard? But at this moment, Zhou Wen, who was ranked first on the genius list, frowned slightly and said to Ningyu, You better surrender before I get angry. I'm very curious. Where are you from? Ningyu stared at Zhou Wen and said, You have the cultivation of a peak abstruse immortal, but you have disguised yourself as an early-stage abstruse immortal genius. I have to say, you have surprised me. Boom. Ningyu's words made Elder He and the others' expressions change drastically. Peak abstruse immortal? Zhou Wen was a peerless prodigy who was ranked first on the genius list, known as the most powerful prodigy in the Sheng Shun Palace in the past 10,000 years. It was not difficult for him to challenge someone of a higher level. But Ningyu said that Zhou Wen's cultivation was at the peak of abstruse immortal. How could they not be surprised? Zhou Wen was not angry because of Ningyu's words. He said, I have been lurking in the Sheng Shun Palace for many years, just to have a chance to get close to Holy Earth Madman. Now that such a good opportunity has been placed in front of me, please forgive me for not being able to refuse it. A chance to get close to Holy Earth Madman? Ningyu frowned. He seemed to have thought of something but he was not too sure. He had heard that the original Holy Land Territory was not called the Holy Land Territory, but the Tuoba Territory. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, Holy Earth Madman suddenly rose to power and killed the peerless experts of the Tuoba family. Since then, the Tuoba family declined and gradually withdrew from the historical stage of the Holy Land Territory. And this peak abstruse immortal expert in front of him said that he wanted to get close to Holy Earth Madman. There was an 80% chance that he was from the Tuoba family. The more Ningyu thought about it, the more likely it was. He said tentatively, I may be able to restore the Tuoba family to its former glory. Whoosh! Just as expected. As soon as Ningyu's words fell, Zhou Wen's expression changed dramatically. He said in a deep voice, I didn't plan to kill you, but you know too much. Haha, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Ningyu was not angry. He smiled and said, You and I have a common enemy. I will help you restore the Tuoba family to its former glory, and you will help me do something. Zhou Wen's expression was gloomy. He knew that he had been careless and fell into Ningyu's trap. Chapter 21:17. To be able to endure for so long meant that Zhou Wen was not an ordinary person. Even though his identity had been exposed, he did not fly into a rage. Instead, he said to Ningyu in a deep voice, Tell me, I have already ordered people to build the general framework of Supreme Hall. Your task is to take over Sacred Divine Palace from me after I break through it and merge it perfectly with Supreme Hall. Ningyu did not beat around the bush and said directly, Swoosh! Zhou Wen's face darkened when he heard Ningyu's words. Obviously, he thought he had been fooled. Break through Sacred Divine Palace? How could Ningyu say something like that? Did he think he was a fool? He had been lurking in Sacred Divine Palace for many years and had a general understanding of its forces. Its patriarch, Sacred Earth Madman, was a half-step golden immortal and was only one step away from becoming a real golden immortal. Below Sacred Earth Madman, there were many Xian immortal experts and even peak Xian immortal experts. Under such circumstances, unless Ningyu was a real golden immortal, he would only be dead if he tried to break through Sacred Divine Palace. Ha ha! At this moment, Sun Yong, who was ranked 9th on the genius ranking, laughed wildly. Sun Yong had the same idea as Zhou Wen. Sacred Divine Palace had been able to stand tall in the Holy Land for so many years because of its strength. If any martial artist could break through it, it would be too exaggerated. After laughing wildly, Sun Yong said coldly, Ningyu, I have secretly contacted the higher-ups of the sect. If you don't want to die, hurry up and puff. However, before Sun Yong could finish his sentence, his eyes widened and blood spurted out of his mouth. Plop! His body fell backward in a straight line. At this moment, Sun Yong, who was ranked 9th on the genius ranking, died tragically. Have you thought about it? After killing Sun Yong, Ningyu turned to look at Zhou Wen and said, You only have one chance. I hope you can think about it carefully and don't make a rash decision. Zhou Wen was shocked, because he actually didn't notice any inkling in the matter of Ningyu killing Sun Yong. In other words, Ningyu had killed Sun Yong right under his nose without anyone noticing. His cultivation was at the peak of the mysterious immortal realm. Yet Ningyu was able to kill Sun Yong right under his nose, so it showed that Ningyu's strength was much stronger than his. Why don't we agree with him first? After pondering for a moment, Zhou Wen said to Ningyu, I can work with you, but everything will be based on you taking down the Sacred Divine Palace. What's so difficult about that? The corner of Ningyu's mouth curved into a smile. He nodded at the golden-shelled insect. The golden-shelled insect leader understood. In the next moment, the golden-shelled insect leader released its aura and crazily pressed down on the martial artist in the box. Hiss! Feeling the golden-shelled insect leader's aura, Zhou Wen's expression changed drastically. He could not help but suck in a cold breath. Half-step golden immortal. No wonder Ningyu was so bold and dared to say that he would take down the Sacred Divine Palace. It turned out that he was the frog at the bottom of the well. He was not clear about Ningyu's strength, but the middle-aged man who came with Ningyu was a genuine half-step golden immortal. With the help of a half-step golden immortal, it was really possible to take down the sacred divine palace. Thinking of this, Zhou could not help but feel hopeful. If Ningyu could take down the sacred divine palace, then there was a great possibility that he could kill Holy Earth Madman. Why had he been lurking in the sacred divine palace for so many years? Wasn't it to kill Holy Earth Madman and avenge the Tuoba family? Now that the opportunity was right in front of him, how could he not be excited? But at the same time, Zhou did not lose his mind. As far as he was concerned, the key to success rested entirely on Ningyu. Although the middle-aged man's cultivation was a half-step golden immortal, Holy Earth Madman's cultivation was also a half-step golden immortal. Moreover, Holy Earth Madman had the entire sacred divine palace behind him. The sacred divine palace is Holy Earth Madman's lair. In my opinion, we should find a way to lure him out of the sacred divine palace and fight him outside. Zhou reminded him kindly, "There's no need for that." Ningyu waved his hand and said faintly, "Take me to see Holy Earth Madman. I can't let you take the risk," Zhou said in a deep voice. Obviously, Zhou thought that it was very risky for Ningyu to meet Holy Earth Madman just like that. "I'm sorry, I said that to the golden-shelled insect leader, not you." Ningyu smiled at Zhou, then tore the void and went in with the golden-shelled insect leader. Golden-shelled insect leader? Zhou frowned, but soon, Zhou seemed to have thought of something, and his face was full of surprise. He knew about the golden-shelled insect. It was an extremely terrifying demonic beast. If what Ningyu said was true, that the middle-aged man was the golden-shelled insect leader, then it was really possible to break through the sacred divine palace when Holy Earth Madman was careless. Swoosh! Zhou did not stay in the room for too long. His figure flashed, and he quickly chased after the ripples left by Ningyu in the void. "What should we do?" After Ningyu and Zhou left, one of the geniuses in the room hesitated. "What else can we do?" "Of course. Hurry up and inform the sect's higher-ups." Another genius looked angry. He moved his feet and wanted to open the door of the room. Puff! However, just as the genius approached the door of the room, a cold light shot out from the void and steadily pierced through his heart. The genius did not move at all and died on the spot after being pierced by the cold light. Hiss! The sudden change caused all the martial artists in the room to suck in a breath of cold air. Silence. Silence. It was unusually quiet. The silence lasted for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, Elder he sighed softly and said, "Sigh, that middle-aged man? No, I should say that the golden-shelled insect leader's cultivation is the same as the patriarch's. They are both half-step golden immortals." "That's right. So before the patriarch comes, all we can do is wait." Elder Son chimed in. Elder he and Elder Son's words cast a shadow over the entire room. Suddenly, the room became lifeless. Crack! Ningyu did not know what happened in the room. At this time, he was led by the golden-shelled insect leader through the many forbidden areas of the sacred divine palace and came to the outside of the forbidden area where the sacred deity pool was located. "Are you sure Holy Earth Madman is inside?" Looking at the vast expanse of whiteness in front of him, before Ningyu could speak, Zhou said doubtfully, "I know about the sacred deity pool. It is effective for Shin immortals, but it should be useless for peak experts like Holy Earth Madman. It seems that after so many years in the sacred divine palace, you are far from being exposed to some core secrets." The golden-shelled insect leader rolled its eyes at Zhou and said faintly, "Although the cultivation of the two old guys in the room is much lower than yours, they know no less than you." Chapter 21:18. 3 pools. Zhou was slightly taken aback. Then a look of confusion appeared on his face. Although he had been lurking in the sacred divine palace for many years, Zhou did not know much about the sacred deity pool. For example, in his opinion, there is only one pool in the sacred deity pool, and only geniuses who had made great contributions to the sacred divine palace could enter. Now that the golden-shelled insect leader said there were 3 pools, how could he not be confused? That's right. There are indeed 3 pools in the sacred deity pool. At this moment, the white mist suddenly disappeared, and an old man slowly appeared in front of Ningyu and the rest. Holy Earth Madman. Seeing the old man suddenly appear, Ningyu and the golden-shelled insect leader did not have much of a reaction, as if they had already guessed that Holy Earth Madman would appear. However, Zhouwen's reaction was a little big. Actually, I already knew that you were from the Tuoba family. Holy Earth Madman stared at Zhouwen and said lightly, "Now I'll give you 2 choices. 1, kill Ningyu, and 2, I'll kill you." Zhouwen's face was gloomy. After seeing the golden-shelled insect leader's powerful strength, he was already on the same side as Ningyu. Moreover, he was from the Tuoba family, and Holy Earth Madman had single-handedly destroyed the Tuoba family. Under such circumstances, if he continued to cooperate with Holy Earth Madman, it would be tantamount to defecting to the enemy. I've tolerated you for a long time. Zhouwen snorted coldly and said, "This day next year will be the anniversary of your death." Ha ha ha. Hearing Zhouwen's childish words, Holy Earth Madman threw his head back and laughed maniacally, then immediately clapped his hands. Clap, 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 clap. For crisp sounds rang out. Crack. Then the void cracked, and 4 figures sprang out of the void. Swoosh. The sudden appearance of the 4 figures made Zhouwen's face extremely gloomy, to the point that it even became bloodless. These 4 martial artists were none other than the 4 leaders of the Sacred Dragon Guard. Their cultivation levels were all at the peak of Xian Immortal. Ningyu, I actually expected you to come, so I prepared a feast for you in advance. After the 4 Sacred Dragon Guard team leaders appeared, Holy Earth Mad Lord ignored Zhouwen's reaction. He stared intently at Ningyu and said in a deep voice, "This day next year will be the anniversary of your death." Voila! As the Holy Earth Madman spoke, several pillars of light rose from the surroundings. Each beam of light contained a terrifying fluctuation of immortal qi. Ningyu's gaze shifted as he stared at the pillars of light around him. He said softly, "You want to kill me with just these pillars of celestial qi? You are underestimating me. Let me warn you, if you have any techniques, use them now. Otherwise, you won't have a chance after I attack." Have you lost your mind? Holy Earth Madman could not believe that Ningyu would say such a thing. In order to kill Ningyu, he had sacrificed a lot. Each of the pillars of immortal qi that rose from the surroundings contained terrifying immortal qi. For this, he had even emptied half of the Sacred Divine Palace's treasury. Even a true golden immortal would not dare to say such a thing. Holy Earth Mad Lord looked at Ningyu as though he was looking at a fool. He said coldly, "Do you think your strength is comparable to that of a golden immortal? My strength may not be comparable to that of a golden immortal, but it is enough to deal with you." Ningyu shrugged and said, "Swoosh." As soon as he finished speaking, Ningyu immediately dashed forward. Whoosh! Ningyu's speed was very fast, so fast that the friction with the air made a hissing sound. Bang! In the blink of an eye, Ningyu arrived in front of the team leader of the Sacred Dragon Guard. He clenched his right fist and punched. A crisp sound rang out. The team leader of the Sacred Dragon Guard flew backward like a kite with a broken string. Puffed! When his body hit the ground, the team leader of the Sacred Dragon Guard fell flat on his face. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura dropped rapidly. Ka ka ka. The defeat of the team leader of the Sacred Dragon Guard made Holy Earth Mad Lord's face extremely gloomy. Although he had predicted that Ningyu would come to the Sacred Divine Palace and had made preparations, he did not expect Ningyu to be so strong. The team leader of the Sacred Dragon Guard was a peak Xian Immortal, only 1 step away from becoming a half-step Golden Immortal. In the Sacred Divine Palace, apart from him, the team leader of the Sacred Dragon Guard was the strongest. You can already control it perfectly. Holy Earth Mad Lord clenched his fists, making cracking sounds. He had calculated everything, but he did not expect Ningyu to be able to control the golden immortal nomological laws perfectly. "Looks like you're not too stupid," Ningyu said. "Now you have 2 choices. 1, submit to me. 2, die. I don't want to submit to you, and I don't want to die. Holy Earth Madman roared, and a cold voice came from his mouth. Holy demon formation. Bam, bam, bam. In the next moment, the bodies of the 3 sacred Dragon Guard leaders began to swell. Not long after, they exploded. Boom! The explosion of the 3 sacred Dragon Guard team leaders was completely within Holy Earth Mad Lord's expectations. Swish, swish, swish. Then, 3 terrifying light pillars of immortal chi shot out from the ground and occupied 3 different positions. Whoosh! The rest of the immortal chi light pillars flew toward the 3 light pillars and forcibly merged together. The Holy Demon Formation uses the sacred deity pool as the eye of the formation. As long as the energy in the sacred deity pool is not exhausted, you will never be able to break out. Holy Earth Mad Lord looked coldly at Ningyu and then dashed toward the sacred deity pool. Hurry up and chase after him, Zhou shouted when he saw Holy Earth Mad Lord disappear. The Holy Demon Formation? Ningyu did not choose to chase after Holy Earth Mad Lord. Instead, he frowned and fell into deep thought. He, who had 11 golden immortal laws, was not afraid of the Holy Demon Formation. Even though the Holy Demon Formation was powerful, it was still lacking a little to trap Zhang Xian. He was not thinking about breaking through the Holy Demon Formation to kill Holy Earth Mad Lord. Instead, he was thinking about cultivating here and trying to break through to the Xian Immortal Realm. Golden-shelled insect leader, keep watch. Ningyu did not waste any time. He immediately sat down cross-legged and sent a voice transmission to the golden-shelled insect leader. All right. The golden-shelled insect leader rolled its eyes helplessly and replied. The golden-shelled insect leader was not stupid. It knew very well what Ningyu was thinking. He wanted to cultivate in the Holy Demon Formation and use it to break through to the Xian Immortal Realm. With Ningyu's current strength, although he could kill Holy Earth Mad Lord, the price he would have to pay would not be small. After all, this was the Sacred Divine Palace, a place that Holy Earth Mad Lord had run for many years. Holy Earth Mad Lord must have many trump cards. However, if Ningyu could advance to the Xian Immortal Realm, then everything would change. Ningyu would only be able to fully unleash the power of the Golden Immortal Laws when he advanced to the Xian Immortal Realm. At that time, he would have 11 Golden Immortal Laws as a Xian Immortal. Ningyu would be invincible below the Golden Immortal level. What are you doing? The golden-shelled insect leader knew what Ningyu was thinking, but Zhou did not. Chapter 21:19. Go to the side. The golden-shelled insect leader impatiently waved its hand and said to Zhou, can't you see that Ningyu is cultivating? If you have a time to worry, why don't you calm down and cultivate? With your talent, you might be able to become a half-step golden immortal. Cultivate? Zhou was dumbfounded. He knew that Ningyu was being arrogant, but he didn't expect him to be this arrogant. The Holy Demon Formation was a formation that even golden immortals were afraid of. Not only did Ningyu not think of cracking the Holy Fiend Array, but he even wanted to cultivate here. How could Zhou not be shocked? Ningyu is a fool. You can't be like him. Thinking of this, Zhou began to persuade the golden-shelled insect leader. He wanted it to try to break the Holy Demon Formation. Zhou didn't expect that the golden-shelled insect would ignore him and sit down cross-legged like Ningyu. Damn it, Zhou cursed in his heart. Zhou knew very well that he couldn't break the Holy Demon Formation with his peak Xian Immortal cultivation. If he really took the risk to break the Holy Demon Formation, he might suffer a backlash. Not only would he not be able to break the Holy Demon Formation, he might even be injured by the backlash. I'd like to see what you guys have up your sleeves. Zhou gritted his teeth. Plop. At the same time, beside the Divine Deity pool, Holy Earth Mad Monarch leaped into the third Divine Deity's pool. Ha ha! Holy Earth Mad Lord couldn't help but laugh maniacally. In the eyes of the Holy Earth Madman, he had already become the final winner. Ningyu and the rest were trapped by the Holy Demon Formation. It was only a matter of time before they died. Holy Earth Mad Lord wasn't particularly concerned about Zhou, Wan, and the golden-shelled insect's life. He was only concerned about when Ningyu would die, because if Ningyu didn't die, he wouldn't be able to obtain the golden immortal law. Primordial Demons Sect, Fallen Spirits Sect, Heaven's Secrets Sect. Holy Earth Mad Lord leaned against the edge of the divine deity pool and smiled. At this moment, he even began to think about which force he should attack next. His cultivation level was at the half-step golden immortal stage. As long as he could obtain the golden immortal law, his strength would experience a qualitative leap. At that time, Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Shady Ghost Immortal Lord would not be his match. Holy Earth Madman was not worried that Ningyu and the golden-shelled leader would escape. After all, he knew the power of the holy demon formation better than anyone else. Unless the energy in the 3 sacred deity pools was depleted in an instant, Ningyu would never be able to escape. Drip, drip. Time was ticking away. In the blink of an eye, 3 hours passed. Voila! When the 4th hour arrived, a suction force suddenly emerged from the Grand Saint Demon formation. Strictly speaking, if Ningyu broke through to the Xian Immortal Realm here, he would definitely attract the Xian Immortal Tribulation. In order to successfully withstand the attack of the Xian Immortal Tribulation, Ningyu had to break through to the peak of the early stage Xian Immortal Realm, or even the mid-stage Xian Immortal Realm. Crack! The leftover materials from the lightning pool kept cutting the blue energy stones in the Times Square pagoda, while Ningyu kept using the devouring technique. Bang! Bang! A series of muffled sounds came from Ningyu's body. Every muffled sound indicated that Ningyu's strength had increased by 10%. Boom! On the other side, the Holy Earth Mad Monarch saw that Ningyu's strength was increasing, so he burned his blood essence to increase his strength. He wanted to force the golden-shelled insect leader and Zhou to stop Ningyu. However, the golden-shelled insect leader was not weak. He was a half-step golden immortal, and in a one-on-one fight, even the Holy Earth Mad Monarch might not be his match. Since the Holy Earth Mad Monarch burned his blood essence, the golden-shelled insect leader gritted his teeth and began to burn his blood essence as well. Zhou saw that the golden-shelled insect leader and the Holy Earth Mad Monarch had burned their blood essence, so he also burned his blood essence to increase his strength. Rumble. As a result, the golden-shelled insect leader, the Holy Earth Mad Monarch, and Zhou's strength instantly increased by several times. This is so infuriating. The Holy Earth Mad Monarch gritted his teeth in anger. However, he had no other choice now. With the golden-shelled insect leader and Zhou around, it was difficult for him to get close to Ningyu. That's right. Suddenly, the Holy Earth Mad Monarch's face lit up, and he shouted, "Ningyu, I can't stop you from breaking through to the Xian Immortal Realm, but I can detonate the Holy Demon Formation in advance." As his voice fell, the Holy Earth Mad Monarch forced the golden-shelled insect leader and Zhou back, and at the same time, he stomped his right foot on the ground. Crack! Chapter 2120. I'm sorry, I've already taken control of the Holy Demon Formation. Ningyu glanced at the cracks that were spreading towards him, and then slowly raised his hands. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In an instant, several cold rays shot out from Ningyu's sleeves. What the F***CK? Holy Earth Mad Lord could not help but swear when he saw the cold rays that shot out from Ningyu's sleeves. No matter how stupid Holy Earth Mad Lord was, he knew what these cold rays were. Golden Immortal Laws. All of them were Golden Immortal Laws. Holy Earth Mad Lord counted and realized that there were a total of 5 Golden Immortal Laws. Thump. Holy Earth Mad Lord's heart skipped a beat. He originally thought that Ningyu only had 1 or 2 Golden Immortal Laws. Who would have thought that Ningyu actually had 5 Golden Immortal Laws? 5 Golden Immortal Laws. It was no wonder that Ningyu looked so confident. With his half-step abstruse immortal cultivation and 5 Golden Immortal Laws, Ningyu did not need to worry about the Holy Demon Formation at all. Although the Holy Demon Formation was very powerful, it could not last long under the impact of the golden immortal laws. Unless Holy Earth Mad Lord was a golden immortal or had golden immortal laws, he could stabilize the holy demon formation. Otherwise, Ningyu would easily take control of the holy demon formation. Rumble. At this moment, the void trembled and several black tribulation clouds appeared. Abstruse, immortal tribulation. Without a doubt, these black tribulation clouds were Ningyu's abstruse, immortal tribulation clouds. Retreat. The golden-shelled insect leader was very smart. They knew that they could not stay in Ningyu's abstruse, immortal tribulation for too long. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Although it was only an abstruse, immortal tribulation, its power was extremely powerful. Seeing the golden-shelled insect leader retreat, Zhou naturally would not stay. Ha ha ha! Holy Earth Mad Lord could not help but laugh wildly when he saw Ningyu's abstruse, immortal tribulation. The Holy Earth Madman was very excited, extremely excited. The golden-shelled insect leader and Zhou didn't dare to stay within the range of the Xian immortal tribulation. But he dared. You really won't die if you don't court death. The golden-shelled insect leader glanced at Holy Earth Madman and said lightly, "What's going on?" Zhou was puzzled. The golden-shelled insect leader knew how strong Ningyu's Xian immortal tribulation was because it had communicated with the Red Fiend. Zhou didn't know any of this. "What's going on?" Let's wait and see. I hope that Holy Earth Madman can withstand the first 3 tribulation clouds. The golden-shelled insect leader said with a smile. Rumble. While they were talking, a tribulation cloud as thick as a person's waist came crashing down. Kacha. The might of the first tribulation cloud wasn't too strong. It was only equivalent to the full force strike of a peak mysterious immortal realm expert. Ningyu didn't even need to make a move against this tribulation cloud. Instead, he used the Holy Demon Array to block it. Now that Ningyu had control over the Grand Saint Devil Array, he naturally had to use the Grand Saint Devil Array to withstand the first few tribulation clouds. Its power is so terrifying. Zhouwen's face was extremely solemn when he sensed how terrifying the first tribulation cloud was. It was the first tribulation cloud of a peak, mysterious, immortal realm expert. One could imagine how powerful the next few tribulation clouds would be. At this moment, Zhouwen faintly felt lucky and sad for Holy Earth Madman. Zhouwen was glad that he had long left the range of the tribulation clouds. He felt sad for Holy Earth Madman because he had to pay the price for his foolish actions. Rumble. Not long after, the second tribulation cloud descended from the void. Compared to the first tribulation cloud, the power of the second tribulation cloud was doubled. Although it wasn't as powerful as a half-step Golden Immortal's attack, it wasn't much weaker. Open. Ningyu glanced at Holy Earth Madman, then waved his hands and created a gap in the Grand Saint Devil Array above Holy Earth Madman's head. Whoosh! When the gap appeared, the tribulation cloud naturally rushed towards Holy Earth Madman. Bang! Even though Holy Earth Madman blocked it with all his might, his body was still blasted away and hit the edge of the Grand Saint Devil Array. Originally, Holy Earth Madman could deal with the second tribulation cloud calmly. However, when he fought with the golden-shelled leader in Zhou, he had consumed too much energy, causing the immortal chi in his body to not be at its peak. Under such circumstances, Holy Earth Madman naturally couldn't deal with it calmly. Ningyu, you're courting death. Holy Earth Madman wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said to Ningyu coldly, "At most, we'll perish together. You want to perish together with me? You may not have the chance." The reason why Ningyu left Holy Earth Madman alive was not to let him block the tribulation cloud for him, but to subdue him and use him to completely control the sacred divine palace. However, it seemed to be a little unrealistic now. Anyway, he could let Zhou or the golden-shelled leader disguise themselves as Holy Earth Madman, so killing Holy Earth Madman now was not a problem. Swoosh! Ningyu did things swiftly and decisively. Before the third tribulation cloud descended, his figure flashed and appeared in front of Holy Earth Madman in the blink of an eye. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched toward Holy Earth Madman's heart with violent immortal chi. Ningyu's punch was powerful and heavy, and he even used 2 golden immortal nomological laws. 2 golden immortal nomological laws attacked Holy Earth Madman at the same time. Unless Holy Earth Madman became a golden immortal or had golden immortal laws, he would definitely die. Could Holy Earth Madman become a golden immortal? The answer was obviously no. Did Holy Earth Madman have golden immortal laws? The answer was obviously no. In conclusion, Holy Earth Madman would definitely die. As long as you don't kill me, I will tell you a secret about the Heaven's Secret sect. In the face of death, Holy Earth Madman couldn't care less. He roared, "Actually, there are 2 patriarchs in the Heaven's Secret sect. One is a half-step golden immortal. The other is a golden immortal expert. The one who leads the Heaven's Secret sect is a half-step golden immortal expert. The golden immortal expert has been hiding behind the scenes. Thank you for the reminder, but you still have to die." Ningyu's right hand paused for a moment, then smashed down hard. Bang! A crisp sound rang out. Holy Earth Madman flew straight up into the sky like a kite with a broken string. Boom! At this moment, Ningyu's 3rd tribulation cloud of the Xian Immortal Tribulation came crashing down. "I can't accept this. I'm Holy Earth Madman. I want to become a golden immortal. I want to become an ancestral." Puffed. Holy Earth Madman let out a hysterical roar. Before Holy Earth Madman could finish his words, he was engulfed by the 3rd tribulation cloud. The power of the 3rd tribulation cloud was equivalent to an all-out attack from a half-step golden immortal expert. Holy Demon Array. To deal with the 3rd tribulation cloud, Ningyu decided to abandon the Holy Demon Array and use it to block it. Crack, crack, crack. However, the ideal was plentiful, but the reality was harsh. Although the Holy Demon Array was strong, most of its energy was devoured by Ningyu. With its current ability, it couldn't withstand the impact of the 3rd tribulation cloud. In the time it took for a spark to fly off a flint, the great Holy Devil formation completely collapsed. Chapter 21-21. Damn it! Ningyu couldn't help but curse as he looked at the tribulation cloud that kept rushing towards him. However, despite cursing, Ningyu's hands didn't stop moving. He waved his hands repeatedly. In an instant, 2 terrifying cold lights shot out from his sleeves. Chi-chi. Each of these 2 beams of cold light contained terrifying energy fluctuations. However, facing the impact of the 3rd tribulation cloud, the 2 cold lights didn't last long before they were completely blasted away. Go! Ningyu seemed to have guessed this long ago. With a thought, he immediately took out a golden immortal law. Ningyu was very self-aware. He knew very well that unless he successfully passed the profound immortal tribulation and completed the suction of the lightning pool, otherwise, with his current strength, it would be very difficult for him to fight against a half-step golden immortal expert. Crack! Without a doubt, the golden immortal law was very strong, extremely strong. As soon as it collided with the 3rd tribulation cloud, it shattered it. The golden immortal law is so terrifying. On the other side, the golden-shelled insect leader was very annoyed. Back in Blue Dragon Valley, it was almost able to refine the golden immortal law, but it failed at the last moment. Now that it saw how terrifying the golden immortal law was, it felt somewhat indignant. What kind of freak is Ningyu? Zhou was more concerned about Ningyu's talent. This was just the profound immortal tribulation. Since ancient times, Zhou had never heard of the power of the profound immortal tribulation being comparable to a half-step golden immortal expert's all-out attack. Moreover, Zhou knew very well that this wasn't the limit. The 3rd tribulation cloud was equivalent to a half-step golden immortal expert's all-out attack. One could imagine how powerful the last tribulation cloud would be. Could it be? Thinking of this, Zhou's heart skipped a beat. He had guessed a possibility, but he was very unwilling to believe it. Golden immortal? Zhou believed that the power of the last tribulation cloud of Ning Yu's profound immortal tribulation was very likely to reach the golden immortal realm. Rumble. Suddenly, the void trembled. Immediately afterwards, several tribulation clouds as thick as a person's waist appeared in the sky and smashed towards Ningyu without any regard for their lives. Ka ka ka. With so many tribulation clouds descending at the same time, the scene was exceptionally magnificent. Retreat. The golden-shelled insect leader and Zhou were not stupid. They didn't want to be associated with Ning Yu's Xian immortal tribulation. The consequences would be unthinkable if they were to be dragged into it. The tragic death of the Holy Earth Madman was still vivid in their minds. Whoosh, whoosh. The golden-shelled insect leader and Zhou instantly left the forbidden area of the sacred divine palace. Fortunately, the forbidden area of the sacred divine palace was very large. Otherwise, Ning Yu's Xian immortal tribulation would be enough to destroy the sacred divine palace. Laws of golden immortals, come out. Ning Yu did not let his guard down. He waved his hands continuously and released all the 11 golden immortal laws he had. Furthermore, in order to withstand the impact of the tribulation clouds, Ning Yu did not hesitate to burn his blood essence and soul force to construct a protective barrier in front of him and his golden immortal laws. Although there were many golden immortal laws, Ning Yu did not let his guard down. This was because within the overwhelming tribulation clouds, Ning Yu vaguely noticed something unusual. There seemed to be 3 abnormally terrifying tribulation clouds mixed in with so many tribulation clouds. Although the power of the 3 tribulation clouds had not reached the golden immortal realm, it far exceeded that of an ordinary half-step golden immortal. Therefore, even though he had used 11 golden immortal laws, Ning Yu still did not dare to let his guard down. Crack, crack, crack. The tribulation clouds that filled the sky smashed towards Ning Yu without any regard for their lives. However, under the protection of the 11 golden immortal laws, none of the tribulation clouds could get close to Ning Yu. The golden-shelled insect leader and Zhou saw Ning Yu standing in the middle of the tribulation clouds from afar and could not help but feel their scalps go numb. If it were them, they would have been blasted to smithereens. I wonder if Ning Yu can pass the tribulation successfully. Zhou murmured with a solemn expression. Don't worry, with Ning Yu's ability, passing the tribulation successfully should not be a problem. The golden-shelled insect leader shrugged and said, what you should be thinking about now is whether or not Ning Yu will give you some of the tribulation liquid after he passes the tribulation successfully. The golden-shelled insect leader was not worried about Ning Yu at all, because in his opinion, Ning Yu had 11 golden immortal laws. With the help of 11 golden immortal laws, Ning Yu would definitely pass the tribulation successfully. With Ning Yu's insane level, once he passes the tribulation successfully, there would definitely be a large amount of tribulation liquid. The tribulation liquid was a good thing. Even though the golden-shelled insect leader was a half-step golden immortal, he still needed the tribulation liquid. The tribulation liquid could greatly increase his strength, allowing him to be infinitely close to becoming a golden immortal. Ha ha ha! As soon as the golden-shelled insect leader's words fell, a loud laughter rang in his ears. Hearing that, the golden-shelled insect leader's expression changed slightly, and he hurriedly turned to look. Hiss! This glance made the golden-shelled insect leader suck in a breath of cold air. Whoosh! 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 The void split open and 3 figures appeared before him. It's you guys, the golden-shelled insect leader said coldly. The golden-shelled insect leader knew these 3 martial artists. The primordial demon sex, primordial origin immortal lord, fallen spirits, gates, shady ghost immortal lord, and ancient demon sex, ancient demon immortal lord. Golden-shelled insect. The primordial origin immortal lord stared at the golden-shelled insect leader and frowned. A half-step golden immortal golden-shelled insect. If you surrender and submit to us, we can spare your life. I suggest we kill it and split it into 3 portions, one for each of us, Shady Ghost Immortal Lord said coolly. Ningyu really is in Sacred Divinity Palace. Ancient Demon Immortal Lord stared at Ningyu in midair and said solemnly, let's make this clear. Ningyu's golden immortal laws will be split equally. Sacred Divinity Mad Lord. The primordial origin Immortal Lord retracted his gaze from the golden-shelled insect leader and shouted into the void. I knew you were full of tricks. I didn't expect you to secretly bring Ningyu back to Sacred Divinity Palace to keep the golden immortal laws for yourself. The golden-shelled insect leader's mouth was slightly agape, slightly dumbfounded. Was this really a half-step golden immortal expert? With a primordial origin Immortal Lord and the others blind? Or did their senses no longer exist? Even an ordinary mystic immortal expert knew that the tribulation cloud that was crashing down on Ningyu was extremely powerful. At this time, they actually directly ignored Ningyu. Could it be that they had lost their minds? The Sacred Divinity Mad Lord you speak of has been killed. The golden-shelled insect leader felt the need to remind them. If you don't want to die, leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, bear the consequences. Bear the consequences? Ha ha ha. The primordial origin Immortal Lord seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. He opened his mouth and threw his head back in laughter. After laughing, the primordial origin Immortal Lord said coldly, I'd like to see how you will make me bear the consequences. Whoosh. As he spoke, the primordial origin Immortal Lord, Shady Ghost Immortal Lord, and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord surrounded the golden-shelled insect leader. At the same time, the 3 of them unleashed their half-step golden immortal auras and pressed down on the golden-shelled insect leader. As for Zhou, he was ignored by them. Chapter 21-22. What the hell is going on? The golden-shelled leader's face darkened when he felt the terrifying aura. He was sure that primordial origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord were no fools. Since they were not fools, it meant that they had already seen Ning use abstruse immortal tribulation and knew how terrifying it was. There is only one possibility for them to be so calm despite knowing the terror of the abstruse immortal tribulation. They had a trump card. The golden-shelled leader's heart sank to the bottom when he thought of what Sacred Earth Immortal Lord had said before his death. The Heaven Secret sect had 2 forefathers. One was a half-step golden immortal, the other a true golden immortal. If the Heaven Secret sect's golden immortal had come, primordial origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord naturally did not need to worry about Ningyu. Even if Ningyu really passed the tribulation, he would not be a match for a golden immortal expert. Submit or die. Primordial origin Immortal Lord took a step forward, his aura surging wildly as he pressed down on the golden-shelled leader. Crack, crack. Under the pressure of the 3 terrifying auras, the golden-shelled leader could not help but kneel on the ground. His knees made cracking sounds. Don't even think about making me submit. The golden-shelled leader said coldly. Just you wait. When Ningyu passes the tribulation, you will be the first to be killed. Passes the tribulation? Primordial origin Immortal Lord pursed his lips. So what if Ningyu passes the tribulation successfully? Can a mysterious immortal realm martial artist overturn the heavens? Swish! The golden-shelled leader's cold face turned even colder when he heard primordial origin Immortal Lord's nonchalant words. He knew that he had guessed correctly. Primordial origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord had a trump card, or rather, a backer. There was a 90% chance that their backer was a golden immortal expert from the Heaven Secret sect. That was the only way they would not be afraid of Ningyu after he passed the tribulation. After all, Ningyu had 11 golden immortal laws. Once he reached the abstruse immortal stage, he would be able to perfectly use the power of the golden immortal laws. At that time, unless a golden immortal expert appeared, Ningyu would be able to instantly kill anyone below the golden immortal realm. I admit that the 3 of you aren't weak, but if you want me to submit to you, you're still lacking. The golden-shelled insect leader's body gradually expanded, and soon it turned into its original form. After transforming into its original form, the golden-shelled insect's combat power would increase by at least a few times. Although he was still not a match for a primordial beginning immortal lord and the others in his true form, it was not a problem for him to last a little longer. The golden-shelled insect leader firmly believed that as long as Ningyu was given enough time, Ningyu would definitely succeed. At that time, by relying on Ningyu's heavenly tribulation liquid, not only would he be able to recover to his peak state, he would even be able to improve a step further. Of course, all of this was built on the premise that Ningyu had a way to deal with golden immortal experts. If Ningyu was unable to fight against a golden immortal expert, all of them would have to die today. Rumble. While the golden-shelled insect was still struggling to hold on, in the sky, several more tribulation clouds smashed towards Ningyu. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. What Ningyu was worried about had finally happened. The 11 golden immortal laws gradually lost their combat power and began to retreat. Each retreat of the golden immortal laws indicated that Ningyu was one step closer to failing the tribulation. Red Fiend. Can I fuse these golden immortal laws with the Red Fiend sword? With no other choice, Ningyu began to communicate with the Red Fiend. At this time, Ningyu had already made every possible effort. Although the golden immortal laws had lost their combat power, if they could be fused with the Red Fiend sword, their power would be restored instantly. Moreover, once all 11 golden immortal laws were fused with a Red Fiend sword, the Red Fiend sword's grade would very likely reach the pinnacle of mystical treasure or even half a step into golden treasure. There's a chance, but the success rate is not particularly high. The Red Fiend answered honestly. Based on the Red Fiend's judgment, the success rate of fusing the golden immortal laws with the Red Fiend sword was only about 60 to 70%. In other words, only 7 or 8 of the 11 golden immortal laws could be fused successfully. As for the remaining golden immortal laws, they would be completely useless. I'll give it my all. Right now, Ningyu had no other choice. Even if the success rate was less than 80%, Ningyu still wanted to take the gamble. That was because Ningyu discovered 2 terrifying auras in the void. If he was not wrong, the owners of those 2 auras should be from the Heaven Secret sect. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Ningyu waved his wrist and instantly threw 3 golden immortal laws to the Red Fiend. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The Red Fiend did not dare to delay. He used a secret skill and injected the 3 golden immortal laws into the Red Fiend sword. 3 minutes later, the Red Fiend heaved a sigh of relief. None of the 3 golden immortal laws went to waste as they were all injected into the Red Fiend sword. As for the Red Fiend sword, its grade had reached the pinnacle of mid-stage mystical treasure. The increase in the grade of the Red Fiend sword indicated that the Red Fiend's cultivation level had advanced from early-stage mystical immortal to mid-stage mystical immortal. Swoosh, swoosh. Time waited for no man. Ningyu threw another 3 golden immortal laws to the Red Fiend. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Of the 3 golden immortal laws, the Red Fiend successfully fused 2 and wasted 1. The Red Fiend sword successfully advanced to late-stage mystical treasure. Swish, swish, swish. Before the Red Fiend could think further, Ningyu threw another 3 golden immortal laws over. As the Red Fiend had advanced to late-stage mystical immortal, the 3 golden immortal laws fused with the Red Fiend sword. Bam! The fusion of the 3 golden immortal laws caused the Red Fiend sword's grade to soar to the pinnacle mystical treasure level. The last 2. Ningyu threw the last 2 golden immortal laws to the Red Fiend. Fuse! The Red Fiend yelled and injected the 2 golden immortal laws into the Red Fiend sword. Bam! Bam! 2 dull thuds sounded consecutively. The first thud was produced when the Red Fiend's sword advanced to half-step golden immortal. The second thud was produced when the Red Fiend's cultivation level advanced to half-step golden immortal. Of the 11 golden immortal laws, the Red Fiend only wasted 1 with the Red Fiend's hard work. The remaining 10 were fused with the Red Fiend sword. However, just as the Red Fiend was about to congratulate Ningyu, the remaining tribulation clouds smashed onto Ningyu. Fortunately, Ningyu had already constructed a protective barrier around him. Otherwise, the impact of the tribulation clouds would have been enough to kill Ningyu. Even so, Ningyu still spat out a mouthful of fresh blood as his aura gradually weakened. Swoosh! Seeing that, the Red Fiend fused with the Red Fiend sword and flew in front of Ningyu. "All right," Ningyu yelled and slashed out with the Red Fiend sword. Chi 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 chi. The half-step golden immortal treasure Red Fiend sword, together with Ningyu's attack, dispersed the surrounding tribulation clouds. Whoosh! The moment the tribulation clouds were dispersed, a golden pool appeared in the void. Lightning pool. Seeing the faintly discernible pool in the void, Ningyu leaped out and charged straight towards it. Oomph! How dare you snatch what's mine? Die! However, Chapter 21-23. Whoosh! Immediately after, a gray-robed martial artist darted out of the void and attacked Ningyu at a terrifying speed. Chi-chi! The gray-robed martial artist was so fast that his body made a hissing sound as he rubbed against the air. "I've been guarding against you." Ningyu seemed to know that someone would attack him. He swung the red demon sword in his hand, and instantly, several waist-thick sword radiances appeared. Child's play. The gray-robed martial artist did not think much of Ningyu's sword radiances. The immortal chi in his body gathered on his fist as he decided to use his fist to block Ningyu's sword radiances. Crack! 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 The gray-robed martial artist was very strong. The sword radiances were all dissipated by his fist, infinitely close to a golden immortal. Ningyu's expression turned solemn. He knew that the gray-robed elder was strong, but he did not expect him to be this strong. Holy Earth Mad Lord, Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord, Ancient Demon Immortal Lord, none of them were a match for the gray-robed martial artist. The gray-robed martial artist was the strongest opponent he had faced since he came to a high-level plane. Snatch the lightning pool first. Ningyu glanced at the gray-robed martial artist and instantly made a decision. He would first snatch the lightning pool and the lightning tribulation fluid within it. With his current strength, although he was not afraid of the gray-robed martial artist, he would still need some time to kill him. Ningyu would not foolishly fight with the gray-robed martial artist. When the sandpiper and clam fight, the fisherman benefits. Besides the gray-robed martial artist, there should be an even stronger martial artist hidden in the void. According to Ningyu's judgment, the cultivator hidden in the void should be a golden immortal. Before his death, Holy Earth Mad Lord had said that the Heaven Secret sect had two patriarchs, one in the open and one in the dark. On the surface, the patriarch was a half-step golden immortal, but the patriarch in the dark was a golden immortal. Without a doubt, this gray-clad cultivator was the heavenly mystery sect's ancestor on the surface. As for the martial artist in the void, he was most likely an old ancestor of the heavenly secret sect. Shio! At this point, Ningyu's silhouette flickered as he dashed towards the lightning pool. Voila! Moreover, in the process of charging forward, Ningyu continuously waved the red demon sword, slashing out sword gleams. The sword gleams that Ningyu had unleashed were not the strongest sword gleams. The reason was that he did not use the golden immortal nomological laws that were fused with the red demon sword. Good steel is used on the edge of the blade. Ningyu's plan was to use his strongest attack when necessary to defeat the golden immortal expert in the void. Damn it! Even if Ningyu did not use his full strength, the gray-cloak cultivator was still unable to deal with so many sword lights in a short period of time. Ningyu was right. The gray-clad cultivator was the Heaven's Mystery Sect's old ancestor, Immortal Lord Sky Scorpio. The expert in the void was the Heaven's Mystery Sect's old ancestor, Immortal Lord Sky Tyrant. Scatter. Seeing so many sword gleams in front of him, Immortal Lord Sky Scorpio gritted his teeth and burned his blood essence to increase his strength. However, even if Immortal Lord Sky Scorpio burned his blood essence to increase his strength, he could not change the situation. Xiao. On the other side, Ningyu raised his speed to the limit and arrived before the lightning pool in the blink of an eye. Guard it for me. With a flick of his wrist, Ningyu threw the red demon sword to the side and leaped into the lightning pool. Although Ningyu jumped into the lightning pool and absorbed the lightning tribulation fluid with all his might, in fact, he was a little hesitant. Since the Heaven's Mystery Sect's Old Ancestor and Old Ancestor were here, it did not make sense that only the Old Ancestor would take action and the Old Ancestor in the dark would not. There must be something fishy going on. As Ningyu absorbed and refined the lightning tribulation fluid with all his might, he was highly focused, paying close attention to the changes in his surroundings. For a moment, the area became somewhat strange. The golden-shelled insect leader was fighting 1 against 3, fighting primordial origin immortal lord and the rest alone. However, given the golden-shelled insect leader's current state, it should have no problem holding out for a few more minutes. As for Heaven's Mystery Sect's immortal lord Sky Scorpio, he kept burning his blood essence, hoping to reach the lightning pool as soon as possible. Tuoba family's Zhou Wen did not do anything. He stood on the spot, not daring to go. In this area, his strength was the weakest. Elsewhere, a peak abstruse immortal might be the strongest and could rule a small mid-tier domain. Here, he did not even have the qualifications to carry the shoes of the golden-shelled insect. Drip. Time passed, second by second. Ningyu's strength was also gradually increasing. After passing the tribulation, Ningyu's cultivation had advanced from half-step abstruse immortal to early abstruse immortal. However, the lightning tribulation fluid was too effective. In a short minute, Ningyu felt a huge change in his body. His cultivation had also soared from early abstruse immortal to early abstruse immortal. Break. Another minute passed. Ningyu swallowed another 2 mouthfuls of lightning tribulation fluid and shouted. Bang! As Ningyu shouted, a muffled sound came from his body. Rumble. After the muffled sound, a terrifying aura shot up from Ningyu's body. Hiss. In the distance, Zhou Wen could feel the aura from Ningyu's body, and he could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. No matter how stupid Zhou Wen was, he knew how terrifying the aura from Ningyu's body was. Although Ningyu's cultivation was only mid-stage abstruse immortal, the aura he emitted had reached the terrifying half-step golden immortal level. Zhou Wen even felt that Ningyu could suppress Sky Scorpio immortal with just his aura alone. Ha ha ha! As soon as Ningyu advanced to mid-stage abstruse immortal, Sky Scorpio immortal threw his head back and laughed. Ningyu, this day next year will be your death anniversary. Without a doubt. After a period of attack, Sky Scorpio immortal finally dispersed the sword light from Ningyu's slash. After destroying the sword light, Sky Scorpio immortal monarch naturally went to kill Ningyu. Because only by killing Ningyu could he obtain the lightning tribulation fluid and the red demon sword that possessed the golden immortal law. I'll use you as a test subject for now. After advancing to mid-stage abstruse immortal, Ningyu had a clear understanding of his own strength. If the strength of a golden immortal expert was equivalent to 1 yuan force, then his current strength had reached half yuan force. In other words, as long as Ningyu's strength doubled, he would be able to fight against a true golden immortal expert. Of course, it was the kind of expert who had just entered the golden immortal realm. If he encountered a veteran golden immortal, he would only be left with a grudge. Even so, with Ningyu's current strength of half yuan force, it was enough for him to defeat any expert below the golden immortal realm. Eat my fist! Seeing that Ningyu was charging at him, Sky Scorpio immortal clenched his right fist and clashed with Ningyu's fist. Crack! Ah! When the two collided, a crisp sound and a scream like that of a pig being slaughtered suddenly rang out. The crisp sound came from Sky Scorpio immortal's fist breaking. The scream like that of a pig being slaughtered came from Sky Scorpio immortal's mouth. How is this possible? Sky Scorpio immortal's eyes widened in disbelief. He was a half-step golden immortal, an expert infinitely close to the golden immortal realm. Chapter 21-24. Nothing is impossible. Ningyu rubbed his slightly swollen fist. He gripped the red demon sword in his hand and said calmly to the void, "Are you still not coming out? If you don't come out, I'm going to start a massacre." Silence. Unusually quiet. Sky Scorpio, Immortal Lord, did not speak. The golden-shelled insect leader's battle also stopped. Everyone was thinking the same thing. They all wanted to see if the martial artist hidden in the void would make a move. Sigh. After a while, a long sigh came from the void. Then, an old man in white slowly appeared in everyone's line of sight. Swish! The appearance of the old man made Zhou Wan and the golden-shelled insect leader's expressions turn extremely ugly. Golden Immortal. The old man's cultivation had reached the terrifying golden immortal realm. Zhou Wan knew that Ningyu was very strong. He had a mid-stage abstruse immortal cultivation and could emit the aura of a half-step golden immortal. However, the white-robed old man before him was a bona fide golden immortal. All below the golden immortal level were ants. Zhou Wan did not believe that Ningyu was a match for the old man in white. If Ningyu could not fight the old man in white, then they would all die today. Actually, I really don't want to be your enemy. The old man in white was Heaven Mystery Gate's Immortal Lord Tianba. He stared at Ningyu and said, "As long as you hand over the heavenly tribulation fluid and the red flying sword in your hand, I can spare your life." Umph. A dying man dares to talk to me like that? Ningyu took a step forward and snorted. Zhou Wan and the golden-shelled insect leader were afraid of Immortal Lord Tianba, but Ningyu was not. In Ningyu's view, Immortal Lord Tianba was indeed a golden immortal expert, but he could not unleash the power of a golden immortal. The reason was simple. Immortal Lord Tianba was injured, and it was a very serious injury. Ningyu finally understood. No wonder Immortal Lord Tianba did not snatch the heavenly tribulation fluid and chose to play dead in the void, because the injuries within Immortal Lord Tianba's body greatly affected him, causing him to only be able to utilize half a nascent soul. Moreover, with Immortal Monarch Tianba's current state, he was only able to utilize half a true origin energy at most once, and it would be at the cost of burning his vitality. Sigh, you forced me to do this. Tianba Immortal Monarch sighed again and unleashed his aura, which pressed towards Ningyu. Ka. The aura of half Yuan energy directly caused the void to completely shatter. Retreat. Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Devil Immortal Lord were no fools. The power of half a yuan was far beyond what they could bear. Staying here now would only lead to death. Therefore, Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord retreated with all their might, afraid that they would be swept up by the terrifying aura. Zhou Wan and the golden-shelled insect leader looked at each other and decided to retreat. They wanted to help Ningyu, but he had the heart, but not the strength. Success or failure depended on Ningyu himself. Damn it, he's actually so strong. Immortal Monarch Sky Scorpio cursed and moved away from the center of the battle between Ningyu and Immortal Monarch Tianba. Although Immortal Monarch Sky Scorpio was strong, he was still a level lower than Ningyu and Immortal Monarch Tianba. Trying to overwhelm me with aura? You're looking down on me too much. Ningyu swung the red fiend sword in his hand. In an instant, hundreds of sword rays swept out and formed a sword ray array in front of him. Ningyu would not foolishly hold back against Immortal Monarch Tianba. In a battle between experts, the slightest carelessness could lead to defeat. 10 golden immortal laws fused into the sword ray array to resist Immortal Monarch Tianba's aura. Hee, you know nothing about power. Immortal Monarch Tianba grinned, and then his figure flashed and charged directly at Ningyu. Immortal Lord Tianba was very fast. He was so fast that he appeared in front of Ningyu in just 0.1 seconds. Immortal Monarch Tianba gathered all the energy in his right fist and punched at Ningyu's chest with a violent gust of wind. The power of Immortal Monarch Tianba's punch had reached the limit of what he could unleash. Half Yuan force. As Immortal Monarch Tianba's fist punched out, the void around Ningyu shattered. Countless spatial rifts appeared, and within each spatial rift, there was a whistling gale that rushed out. Who knows nothing about power? Ningyu also gathered all the energy in his body on his fist. Even the energy in the red fiend sword and the origin divine rod were gathered on his right fist. The next moment, Ningyu threw out a punch and collided with immortal monarch Tianba's fist. The two fists collided. Bang! A crisp sound rang out. Then, the two figures retreated in a straight line. In this blow, Ningyu and immortal monarch Tianba were evenly matched, and neither could do anything to the other. However, although Ningyu and immortal monarch Tianba were evenly matched, it meant that immortal monarch Tianba was at a disadvantage. Because immortal monarch Tianba did not hesitate to burn his life for this blow. On the other hand, Ningyu was just using a normal blow. Huh, it seems that you know nothing about power. Ningyu smiled slightly and chased after immortal monarch Tianba. Before immortal monarch Tianba had time to burn his life, he arrived in front of immortal monarch Tianba and punched immortal monarch Tianba's heart. It was a critical moment. Fortunately, immortal monarch Tianba moved his body slightly to the side. Otherwise, Ningyu's punch alone was enough to kill him. Even so, immortal monarch Tianba could not completely avoid Ningyu's punch. Although Ningyu's punch did not hit his heart, it hit his chest. Crack! Chapter 21-25. Although immortal Lord Tianba was heavily injured, he was still an early-stage golden immortal, a bona fide golden immortal expert. It was a pity to kill such a martial artist. Ningyu wanted to give him a chance to live, but the condition was that he had to submit to him. Ningyu would not spare a martial artist who was unwilling to submit to him. I refuse to accept this. Immortal Lord Tianba clenched his fists and said angrily, "You have an unfair advantage. If I wasn't injured, even 10 of you wouldn't be my match." "That's right, you are right. If you weren't injured, even 10 of me wouldn't be your match." Ningyu shrugged and said, "But now you're injured and defeated by me. Oomph. If you have what it takes, let's fight again after I recover." Immortal Lord Tianba snorted coldly. Ningyu could not be bothered with immortal Lord Tianba and said indifferently, "I will count to 3. If you don't open your mind, don't blame me for being rude. 1, 2, I choose to submit." Immortal Lord Tianba said hurriedly as soon as Ningyu counted to 2. As the saying went, where there is life, there is hope. If he did not submit, only death awaited him. If he submitted, he could live on. Immortal Lord Tianba was not a fool and naturally chose to submit. Very good. Ningyu nodded in satisfaction. He did not care what tricks immortal Lord Tianba had up his sleeves. All he had to do was take advantage of the moment when immortal Lord Tianba was relaxed to extract all the golden immortal nomological laws in immortal Lord Tianba's body. Once he lost the golden immortal laws, even if immortal Lord Tianba recovered from his injuries, he would not be able to recover to his peak. Damn it, you want to extract my golden immortal laws. Immortal Lord Tianba quickly realized what Ningyu wanted to do. He cursed and wanted to resist. However, it was too late for him to resist now. Using the moment when immortal Lord Tianba was stunned, Ningyu firmly controlled the golden immortal laws in his body and moved a portion of them out of his body. Hongemo. Ningyu flicked his wrist and tossed the red demon's sword into the air. The golden immortal nomological laws that he channeled out entered the red fiend's sword without reservation, allowing the red fiend to devour them. Ningyu's thinking was very simple. Since the red demon's sword had already reached the level of a half-step gold treasure, why not use the golden immortal laws in Tianba Immortal Lord's body to push it to gold treasure? Once the red fiend sword advanced to the level of a gold treasure, his cultivation would also rise along with it, reaching the level of a golden immortal. Only golden immortals could be considered mighty figures. Only when Red Fiend became a golden immortal would Ningyu have the confidence to go to the Central Divine Dynasty to look for the Dark Emperor and the others. Otherwise, this trip to the Central Divine Dynasty was bound to be unsatisfactory. My golden immortal laws. Immortal Lord Tianba was so angry that his nose became crooked. After losing the golden immortal laws, he was like a tiger that had lost its teeth and claws. His strength had dropped by more than half. The decrease in strength was not the reason why Tianba Immortal Lord was angry. He was angry because Ningyu's way of demanding had a great impact on him. From now on, even if he recovered from his injuries, it would be difficult for him to cultivate to the level of a golden immortal. Noisy, with a wave of his wrist, Ningyu used the golden immortal laws in Tianba, Immortal Lord's body, to block his mouth. To submit, one had to have the awareness of submission. If he had known this would happen, he would not have done it in the first place. In the distance, Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord and Primordial Beginning Immortal Lord could not help but shudder when they saw Ningyu's ferocity. Ningyu could even defeat Immortal Lord Tianba, who had the golden immortal laws. It was obvious that they were no match for Ningyu. At this time, they were faced with two choices. First, retreat as far as they could. From then on, they would leave the territory tens of thousands of miles around them and never come back. Second, submit, just like Immortal Lord Tianba. No matter which choice, Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord and the others were very unwilling. Swish! Instantly, Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord and the others looked at the golden-shelled insect leader and Zhouwen. They knew very well that the golden-shelled insect leader and Zhouwen were Ningyu's friends. Perhaps they could capture the golden-shelled insect leader and Zhouwen and use them to threaten Ningyu. Sha sha sha. The golden-shelled insect leader and Zhouwen were not idiots. When Ningyu defeated Immortal Lord Tianba, they had already realized the severity of the problem. Therefore, they were highly focused and prepared to approach Ningyu at any time. Now that they saw the gleaming eyes of Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord and the others, they immediately burned their life force and flew towards Ningyu. Swish! In its true form, the golden-shelled insect leader was much faster than ordinary half-step golden immortals. Zhouwen lay on its back and let it carry him towards Ningyu. Courting death. As Ningyu extracted the golden immortal laws from Immortal Lord Tianba's body, he paid close attention to the changes in the distance. When he saw that Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord and the others did not know what was good for them, he immediately gave up on Immortal Lord Tianba and went to help the golden-shelled insect leader and Zhouwen. As for Immortal Lord Tianba, he would leave him to Red Devil. After devouring and refining a few more golden immortal laws, Red Devil's strength had jumped to second place in this area. He was only weaker than Ningyu and stronger than Immortal Lord Tianba. With him watching over Immortal Lord Tianba would not be able to cause too much trouble. I gave you guys a chance, but you didn't know how to cherish it. Ningyu's speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he was between the golden-shelled insect leader and Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord. He clenched his fists and punched toward Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord with violent energy waves. Oh no! Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord was highly focused. At the critical moment, he used both his hands to push Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord out to stop Ningyu. Bang! Bang! Ningyu's fists naturally landed on Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord's chests. The huge force sent Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord flying. They only stopped when their bodies hit the ground. Puffed, puffed. Both of them spat out a mouthful of blood. Their auras plummeted to freezing point. I surrender. Ghost Immortal Lord seemed to know what to do. Seeing that Ancient Demon Immortal Lord and Primordial Origin Immortal Lord were no match for Ningyu, he immediately knelt on the ground and surrendered. There's one more. Ningyu gave Ghost Immortal Lord a fierce look before tearing the void and entering. Not long later, Ningyu appeared in front of Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord and blocked his path of retreat. Must you be so ruthless? Sky Scorpio Immortal Lord's eyes flickered as he said in a low voice. It's not that I'm ruthless. Why didn't you think of this when you attacked me just now? Ningyu said indifferently. Sometimes you have to pay the price for doing something wrong. Price my ass, die. Sky Scorpio, Immortal Lord's eyes widened. Two eyeballs shot out from his pupils and attacked Ningyu at a terrifying speed. Ha ha ha. Chapter 21-26. Oomph. Scorpion King eyeballs? They're nothing in front of me. Looking at the eyeballs approaching him, Ningyu snorted and took out the origin creating divine staff. The red demon sword was devouring the golden, immortal nomological laws, so Ningyu naturally wouldn't use it. Although Sky Scorpio's eyeballs weren't weak, they didn't have much of an advantage in front of the origin creating divine staff. After all, the origin creating divine staff was a mortal essence creation's Dharma treasure, and its toughness far exceeded his own peak Dharma treasure. Bang! Bang! In the blink of an eye, the origin creating divine staff and the two Scorpion King eyeballs collided. A crisp sound rang out. 3 streaks of cold light shot backwards in a perfectly straight line. Without a doubt, 2 of them were the Scorpion King eyeballs, and the other was the origin creating divine staff. In this strike, both sides were evenly matched, and there was not much difference between them. Swoosh! Ningyu chased after him, holding the origin creating divine staff firmly in his hand. Kill him! Sky Scorpio raised his head and shouted. He controlled the 2 Scorpion King eyeballs to charge at Ningyu again. I'm sorry, but you won't have the chance to kill him. Ningyu shrugged. He injected all the energy in his body into the origin creating divine staff and threw it out. Sizzle! Sizzle! The origin creating divine staff, with terrifying energy, quickly collided with the 2 Scorpion King eyeballs. Puff! Puff! The collision this time was obviously different from the last time. Ah! A hysterical scream came out of Sky Scorpio's mouth. How could my Scorpion King eyeballs be destroyed? Sky Scorpio couldn't believe it. He had killed several half-step golden immortals with the Scorpion King eyeballs in the past. He thought that with the 2 Scorpion King eyeballs, even if he couldn't kill Ningyu, he could at least hold on for a long time. However, in just 2 moves, Ningyu destroyed the 2 Scorpion King eyeballs with a broken staff. The Scorpion King eyeballs were left behind by an expert who was infinitely close to becoming a golden immortal in ancient times. How could he not be shocked that such a powerful eyeball couldn't even block 3 moves? I've said it before, nothing is impossible. Ningyu shrugged and smashed the essence creation divine staff down. I surrender. I'm willing to surrender. Sky Scorpio, Immortal Monarch, shouted hastily when he sensed the origin creation divine rod approaching him. However, it was already too late for Sky Scorpio, Immortal Monarch, to surrender. If everyone struggled before surrendering, what was the point? Ningyu had already made up his mind to not give Sky Scorpio any chance. Kacha! In an instant, the origin creating divine stick brought along a terrifying energy fluctuation as it smashed onto Sky Scorpio, Immortal Monarch's head. This strike was extremely powerful. Sky Scorpio, Immortal Monarch's head was smashed on the spot, and even his soul was not spared. Hiss! In the distance, Ghost Immortal Lord gasped when he saw Ningyu kill Sky Scorpio, Immortal Lord. At the same time, he secretly rejoiced that he had chosen to surrender. Given the strength that Ningyu had displayed, he might even be able to take on a real golden immortal, let alone a half-step golden immortal. Ghost Immortal Lord shifted his gaze and looked at Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord on the other side. Primordial Origin Immortal Lord and Ancient Demon Immortal Lord were pale and bloodless. Sky Scorpio, Immortal Lord's tragic state was still fresh in their minds. Out of fear, their bodies were trembling and their teeth were chattering. It was difficult for anyone to remain calm in the face of death. Rumble! At this moment, a terrifying aura emanated from the Red Fiend's body and shot into the sky. I'm going to kill you. Ningyu could not help but swear when he saw the Red Fiend's current state. He had gone through a lot of hardships to transcend the Xian Immortal Tribulation and deal with Sky Tyrant Immortal Lord. It was not easy for him to raise his strength to the half-primordial force realm. But the Red Fiend, reaping the fruits of others' labor, After devouring Sky Tyrant Immortal Lord's Golden Immortal Laws, coupled with the original 10 Golden Immortal Laws in the Red Fiend Sword, the Red Fiend Sword had a total of 40 Golden Immortal Laws. The 40 Golden Immortal Laws had raised the Red Fiend Sword's grade to infinitely close to that of a gold treasure. The grade of the Red Fiend Sword was not what Ningyu was concerned about. What Ningyu was concerned about was the Red Fiend's current combat strength. Take this. With a thought, Ningyu leaped forward, clenched his right fist, and punched out. All right. The Red Fiend retracted the Red Fiend Sword and punched out in reverse, colliding with Ningyu's fist. Bang! The two collided. Immediately after, Ningyu and the Red Fiend were sent flying dozens of feet away before coming to a stop. Both parties were evenly matched in that exchange. You're impressive, kid. Ningyu was delighted. He had used half primordial force in that punch. In other words, the Red Fiend's current strength had also reached the half primordial force realm. It's so. The Red Fiend chuckled before tossing the Red Fiend sword to Ningyu. Piak. Ningyu reached out with his right hand and grabbed the Red Fiend sword firmly. Holy shit. The moment he grabbed the Red Fiend sword, Ningyu cursed once more. Initially, he thought that the Red Fiend sword's half primordial force realm strength had given him enough surprises. Who would have thought that the one who truly benefited was the Red Fiend sword? The Red Fiend sword's current state was not that of a gold treasure, but it was even better than a gold immortal. In other words, the toughness of the Red Fiend sword had reached the level of a gold treasure. It was just that the Golden Immortal Laws were insufficient. The weakest Golden Immortal had 50 Golden Immortal Laws in their bodies. Within the Red Fiend sword, there were only 40 Golden Immortal Laws. It was 10 short of reaching the gold treasure level. Without using the Red Fiend sword, Ningyu could release half primordial force realm strength. However, once he used the Red Fiend sword, his strength could even match ordinary Golden Immortals. Good. Ningyu said good thrice consecutively. There was nothing more exciting than raising one's strength. I'll give you some lightning tribulation fluid. Ningyu kept the Red Fiend sword and took out a jade bottle. The jade bottle contained the lightning tribulation fluid that appeared during his Xian immortal tribulation. The lightning tribulation fluid was good stuff. Even though the Red Fiend's strength had increased to half primordial force realm, the lightning tribulation fluid could still increase his strength. Gulp! The Red Fiend did not stand on ceremony with Ningyu. He took the lightning tribulation fluid and poured it into his mouth, refining it on the spot. As for Ningyu, he thought for a moment and took out 2 more jade bottles. He threw one to the golden-shelled bug leader and the other to Zhou. For us, the golden-shelled bug leader and Zhou were shocked. How precious was the lightning tribulation fluid? They had never expected that Ningyu would give each of them a bottle of lightning tribulation fluid. I still have something for you to do next. Ningyu did not beat around the bush. He said directly, Zhou is in charge of integrating the primordial demon sect, ancient demon sect, fallen spirits sect, heaven's secret sect, and sacred divine palace. As for the golden-shelled bug leader, your mission is to control the Xian immortal experts of these forces and make them submit to me. Remember, absolute submission. I promise to complete the mission. Zhou won, and the golden-shelled bug leader's heart skipped a beat. They knew very well that Ningyu was going to build Supreme Hall. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.